Okay, and we live. Okay, our fathers. Pretty much, I'm doing a video right now based on you know men becoming men, having a purpose in life. You know, dealing with things that come their way. The issues of being a man, the issues of kind of dealing with adversity. These are the topics that I'm gonna be talking about. Like technically speaking, who raised you? You know, the comedian TK Kirkland, he makes quite a lot of jokes about who raised you when people do some of the most weirdest, craziest things to kind of show who they are and what they are. He kind of stresses this a lot that when it comes to certain people and how they, relatively do things, you got to question, who raised them in that manner. And, it leads to the question of who raising you to kind of, get an understanding of the way you act and, the way you act because somebody put you in that mind frame. You shouldn't be out of here acting crazy or, what I'm saying, just wilding out just because somebody had to put you in that mind frame and raise you a certain way to think that what you're doing is acceptable. And that's the funny part about it. You have men that are being raised by females, you have men that are being raised by, you know, their fathers, or their mothers. Men are being raised by uncles, grandmothers, granddads. But ultimately, I want to focus on the title Our Father. You know, what men raised you to the extent of you becoming a man of means, a man that lives purposefully, knowledge based, and everything. You know, when we're talking about dealing with that aspect, we're talking about the man that brought me into my existence, from my standpoint, was mainly one of my uncles. He was my grandmother's brother, you know. He was a rough around the edges kind of guy. He did a lot of dirt, did a lot of bad stuff. But when it came to me, him and my mother was so close that, the situation that happened with my mother, he tried to get his life together so he could be a better role model for me and my brothers. And when it came down to it, that was his main concern, was trying to be a better man, you know, not just for himself, that he know he kind of messed up along the way and, did certain things in his life, but to be a better role model for his nephews. He changed his life for us. And that spoke volume because a lot of my family members talked about it, you know. Then we're going into the aspect of, I had coaches, I had neighbors, I had a lot of men that kind of seen something in me to say, don't go that route. Don't deal with these people. You know, they were more or less looking out for me to try to, give me some positive vibes in life to say, you know, the road less traveled for some is cool, but you need to be on a different path. They wanted me grounded in certain things. They wanted me to be more vocal about certain things, to learn more about certain things, because ultimately, you know, the key right now in life of being successful is to, try to learn, get a vast set of knowledge that you can obtain, and to be humble, because one of the key things, you can have knowledge, but if you don't have no awareness and you kind of cocky with it, no one wants to deal with you. I know there are kids that are awesome. I'm talking about like just amazing in sports, but when it come down to it, they most likely wouldn't even be able to go on a college level team because they're going to be labeled as uncoachable. And when I say uncoachable, it's to the extent that where nobody wants to deal with them. If you're a person that can't control your emotions and things, and no one's kind of working with you, helping you, showing you how to be a better man, you know, you need that role model. And that's where it comes into the whole aspect of someone that's not your father, but taking on that position to kind of put you on the right path. And that's why I say our fathers, because you have many men that walk in and out your life that kind of mold you into the man that you are. You will have, just random people walking down the street will see you doing something and say something. To most people they look at as a being offensive, and don't talk to me, don't get on me like this, and don't handle me like that. But in most cases, you got to understand this person is taking the time out to kind of either correct you for doing something wrong, you know, or trying to show you a different way, a different path. I was on the brother Bakari channel, and he was expressing how he seen a young man walking around sagging his pants, and when he told the young man to pull up his pants, he had a belt on, and he pulled him up. Going on, Ricky?
Peace, peace. How you doing, Sheed? Peace to the gods and goddesses all over the world. Can y'all hear me okay? Sheed, I'm losing you, bro.
Yeah, man, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Peace to the chat. Peace to the gods and goddesses all around the world. We talking about fathers, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm dealing with the situation of, trying to get people's mind wrapped around that talking about fathers, not only just fathers, just the men in general that kind of mold some of these young cats, because you would have a young man that grows up in a house full of women, or just with his mom in general, a couple of sisters, don't have an older brother. He might be the only child, he has to
No,
spend time with his granddad or somebody. If the granddad is not in the state, you have a man that's down the street that kind of cuts the grass, show him how to cut the grass a certain way to where you get the best results. You know, might have that neighbor that always fix on his car that tends to show him, look, this is how you change a tire. You if you're not having that father that's in your life, that you growing up with him, some may have passed or anything, just the men that are around you that are molding you to being the man that you are. That's what I'm speaking on, that reference.
no doubt, no doubt. It's like, but like I honestly feel that was part of the whole plan and the rigmarole of the American politicians and American government is to disregard the black man and make him, less than what he ever could be, right? It's like you said, we got a lot of these women, uh, are women, and I take this into court into all nations. What people don't understand is that the woman is the teacher of the child, right? They have to learn to nurture the children. But in a lot of cases, you see with these women, as far as the boys go, they sexualize the boys at a young age. Look at him, he's so handsome, he's so sexy. The baby 1, 2, 3 years old, right? And just like you said, we got all like these young men around all this feminine energy. So what happens is that they react emotionally to everything, right? Even the smallest stuff. And then they get out there in the street with other young men who react emotionally, and then people losing their lives over goofy stuff, right? Even I think it's paramount that every young man has a man in his life. I don't care, like you said, if it's his uncle, his daddy, his grandfather, because even if because everything is a lesson, right? Even if it's something you don't approve of, if you can't use in your day-to-day operations of your life, it's still a lesson, right? So I had a stepfather in my life. He wasn't my daddy, right? And I don't feel as a man he was a good person, but I took that experience as, okay, I don't want to be like this. What should I be doing to take care of my family the correct way? How should I take care of my household so my children wouldn't have to go through this? And my dad, even though he wasn't really in my life, we did spend time together. And the times I did spend with him, even though he was not within my life, I stayed with him. I was like 16. I stayed with him for like 8 months because of my stepfather and my mom and whatever they had going on, we had got evicted, right? So I was staying for him. I stayed for him like 6 months. And that time I learned more about just being a man and learned about how people move in the streets from him than I learned from anybody throughout my whole lifetime. So again, we need to stop holding grudges on life because, and the crazy thing to me about fathers is this, right? They teach you to disregard your father, treat your father like he don't exist, right? Like, okay, if he don't conform into your picture of what a father should be, you can't get nothing from him, right? Whereas if it weren't for him hollering at your mama, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even be here, right? So the just the fact that you are able here to sense and feel and smell and touch and think is because of your father and your mother. But why do fathers get so much flack and so much degradation and so much disrespect, right? But like you
Yeah.
said, man, these women can't keep raising men. It doesn't work that way. They were supposed to nurture the men, right? Teach them how to love within themselves. But y'all wasn't supposed to be raising men because y'all don't know what men, especially black men, go through on a day-to-day basis. Yes, you can understand it, but it's not the same as actually going through those lessons and pushing through the right information on how to move and politic out in these streets as a man.
Yeah. I mean, that's quite true, man. Like I say, you got the situations where a lot of these young boys don't have that father in their life. And that's what I always say, you have sports that these young boys need to get into. Be around a male coach that, tough love is the key. You know, a lot of kids they get cussed out. I had a coach, man, this guy was ruthless. He'll cuss us out, just go in, joning us and everything. And when the parents come around, he be the nicest man, slap the kids upside the head, play with them and stuff. And like, he always tell the parent when a parent comes up and complains about, yeah, my son always saying you cussing and this and that. He was like, ma'am, I'm getting your son ready for life. He's like, the sports is the least of my worries. He said he can win a tournament or not. He said, but the key is he's not always going to be in high school. He needs to learn how to be a man. He needs to set his emotions aside. He needs to know how to deal with certain things. And presenting that to the lady, I'm shocked looking at him. I'm like, she's not going for that. And ultimately she knew he was right. It was just crazy. That's what I say to a lot of situations with people. They got to be able to move a certain way. These young men have to learn that, they got to be able to find out these key things, within the environment. You have a lot of young men, they don't understand, what's the issue with their mom and dad, what they're going through. You know, my wife, for example, she I married her with kids. Sorry about this, man. I'm going down this hill and my truck's shaking, making my voice kind of. But basically, my wife, I married her. She had kids, and I was telling her why. I'm just going through the motions of dealing with her. Why are these kids not, connected with their dad? And that was my biggest thing because ultimately, if I seen the way she played this guy, eventually I'm gonna be in the same boat. And a lot of guys don't recognize that. That's why I tell guys it takes a certain type of man to be with a woman that has kids and call yourself a stepfather. Because even with those kids knowing I'm not their real dad, They know I don't take they don't take. I know I don't take no disrespect. No disrespect. I let their mom know before I got with her if she didn't like the way I kind of positioned myself in their life, that I wouldn't be with her. You know, ultimately, I got my wife with the expectation of having kids. She said, you know, she didn't know about if she wanted to have any more kids, and I told her, well, this will be our last date because I want kids. And I was very strict with it. And a lot of men, they kind of take it to where let's see how the relationship go. No, you end it there. If she don't want to have kids and you do, why are you prolonging the relationship? You know, I've heard many women say that they've been in a relationship for 5 years and the guy wasn't the right dude. So what year you didn't know he was the right dude for you? You know, and you're looking at your kids, putting them through a certain situation. You know, it be like that. The kids suffer sometimes. When they have a good relationship with the stepdad or just the man in general that you bringing this guy around, and then ultimately you break up with him. That bond with that child is lost. When you have a good guy that's in there working with that child, showing them different things, and it poses that to the issue of this guy's going to resent you, or I mean the young boy is going to resent you for that, because he's thinking that this guy can potentially be my father, the father I never had in most cases. And like I said, even with that being said, you got things in history to where you can look at how we had some of the greatest leaders in our community, you know, running, showing that, giving inspiration to the younger generation. I'm reading books about Thurgood Marshall, reading books about Martin, Malcolm, you know, um, Charles Drew, a lot of guys, all the way back to Africa, dealing with those guys, seeing the reading the books, pulling up information in the computer about all these different kings that were back in the day. And I'm like, man, Mansa Musa, what was it, King Tutu and Shaka Zulu, you know, all those different who was Hannibal, you know, how these guys conquered and did for the greater of their people. You know, like I said, dealing right now, we have great leaders that kind of make these kids be inspired to do better for themselves. You know, and like I said, that's the reason I titled it "Our Fathers." You're dealing with a slew of young men that are growing up right now that don't know what's going on. I was just on the screen early on the Roger Report, and the guy.
Hello? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, it went dark for me for a second, bro.
Okay.
Um, I missed the tail end. Could you repeat what did you say at the tail end, bro? I missed it.
Well, I was saying going into the military, either going into the military or going into like the getting some studies from the Nation of Islam, because like I say, you have to have some type of discipline and guidance. And the guy was talking about going into the military, was getting the guys on the panel opinion.
Hmm.
And like I was saying, when it come down to it, a lot of guys that either on the street or just don't know what to do with their life, they kind of lacking discipline. And if they don't have those keys to kind of pull themselves up or kind of make it out of a situation that they're in, they're going to be lost, because all it takes is that one issue of you hanging out with the wrong guys, and you know your life is on a path of destruction from that point.
I mean, we all know it only take a second to ruin your own life, right? But as far as what I believe is that this what I believe when it comes to children. Like I told y'all before, like I said, I'm married a woman. Um, one of the best decisions of my life. She had kids already, didn't want any more kids. I had kids already, and I already knew, like you said, to address the stepfather issue, it was gonna come a day where it comes to a head. It's just the nature of the business, right? Um, a lot of women don't understand that part, that a man is, investing into, a legacy that will never be his, right? But that's a different subject altogether. Um, but what I instill in all my children is that you control your destiny, right? All you can do with your children, and again, this is my opinion. People gonna say what they want to say. All you can do is give your children right information and the best foundation you can, right? I'm a firm believer, they had a saying, the saying goes, your children are a representation of you. I don't believe that. Your children, once they become of age, are their own people. They're going to make their own decisions. They're going to make their own mistakes. You have to set the foundation so that when push comes to shove, when the rubber meets the road, they can make the correct decision to right the ship themselves. Right. And I think that's what's going on with a lot of our young men is they don't have a base of knowledge to be able to right the ship when things go awry. Everything's based on emotion, right? Everything is based on a reaction and not action, right? I teach my sons to act, right? Don't wait for a problem to get big. Don't worry about the big problems. Big problems happen in life. I have a saying that life is simply the journey from one struggle to the next. It is simply the journey of one struggle to the next. In there, you have some good times, right? But you got to attack those struggles, right? And it's the little problems that become big when you don't address them, right? The big problems are easy to handle because you see everybody go through those. You told about those as a youngin, you know what I'm saying? If your parents are, halfway doing their job, right? But all you can do is set a basis and a foundation for your children. And again, when it comes back to it, when the rubber meets the road, they'll right the ship themselves. But like I said, to me, the biggest problem is in this society, this Western society is that women have way too much input on the growth and rearing of young men, right? Like I said, we have a lot of women asking for things they don't even know how to take care of, right? You say you want a man, you get a good man. 9 times out of 10, a woman gonna shit on a good man. She gonna shit on him. He boring. He too predictable, right?
True.
Right? You do that, you get them a house, especially these young girls, because they never had no father figure in their life, or their mama was, a thought in the club in the '90s or whatever, right? You sitting up there talking about, I want a man with this, I want a man with a car, buy me a car, buy me a house. You get a man that do that. Hell, you can't even take care of the house. He paying all the bills. You putting fucking curtains on the goddamn window, right? You asking for a baby. All these girls talking about they got baby fever, and you can't even feed and get a baby the correct nutrition. You feeding them fucking Pop Tarts and shit on a styrofoam plate out out the microwave, right? Juice boxes every goddamn day. Baby never had a natural meal in their goddamn life, right? And what I see here, like I got an older son, my older son Andre. He just got married to a girl who only had a baby by him, right? They got one son, and she's submissive to him, and she's a doctor, but she still listens when my son speaks, right? She knows that my son has their best interest in heart. I don't get one. Why would you date a man that don't have your home's best interest at heart? I would never do anything to hurt my home.
Yeah, man. Like I was on a panel before, and I told the guys that I know a lady that's a professor, and she dates a man. Not saying that the man is kind of poor or not, but he makes less money than her. But ultimately, she let him run. She let him run the show. You know, she kind of get vocal about certain things because like I tell people, that's the nature of most women. They get to a point, it's not even coming with the money aspect. They feel as if they need to say certain things, and they kind of want to express their opinion more than others, you know because they want to stand on certain things that they kind of firmly believe or they think to be right. You just have to let them know, hey, this is wrong. What you're doing is not the right way, the right result.
Exactly. And just because you grown don't mean you're an adult either. I firmly feel that you're an adult when you can break your programming, the matrix, Neo, whatever you want to call it. It comes to a point in your life, no matter who you was raised. I'm not gonna say everybody. It did for me, right? I adored my mom. I adored her. I was a mama's boy, right? But then when you get up and you become a man, and you, like I said, no matter what nobody say, I learned lessons from everywhere. I learned lessons from my stepfather, who wasn't a decent man, right? But I still respect him because you know why? He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to be there. He didn't. It doesn't matter what. Sometimes people only move with what they know. I'm not saying people don't have bad intentions, because some do, but most people are simply transferring from them to you what they know, right? Glean what you can from it and move on.
Yeah, like Bruce Lee, they say that Bruce Lee came up, well, probably it's an old proverb, but you eat the meat and leave the bone. You take everything that someone's teaching you to an extent to where if it's something good, you roll with it. The bad, let it be. In most cases, I seen this pastor. He was talking about raising his kids. This guy had about, I think, 7 kids, and he was saying that a guy was telling him to raise his kid to do this and do that, and he was like, "Well, where are your kids? Let me see your kids. How did they turn out?" And he has a doctor, a lawyer, and some other child was very successful. And the pastor was like, "Well, I'm implementing this for my kids." Because ultimately, this guy has 3 successful kids, all in high careers. Why would I not try to, implement this for my kids? Because it might have the same outcome. In most cases, it depends on the child, but ultimately, you're gonna try
Yeah,
because
man,
you want the best. Go
man.
ahead.
Yeah, but that, like, people don't understand how important blood is, man. Right? They don't. This shit is crazy. It's like you can raise 3 kids. You can raise a house full of kids the same way, and all of them gonna turn out different, right? And that's the problem. Like I said, with the division of the families, man. People not knowing their families, their daddies, their mamas, right? Because sometimes you get tendencies and you don't know where they come from. And if you're not around your parents to see, those things, they become a crutch more than an asset, right? We
Yeah,
we gotta. I keep trying to tell people, what people don't understand: the family is the basis of all wealth and success in this world. It all starts with your family. Why you think they try so hard to break up the families, bro? Why you think so hard? Why is it that they implement policy to get the black man out the house? Right? Why do you think they implement policy for feminism so they can get the women out in the workplace to get taxed, but also the field because they chasing that mighty dollar or they making more than a man that they don't need one? Why you think they pushing lesbianism and gayism and all this trans shit so hard, man?
Yeah, I mean the agenda is real. We know it. We see, the way that they kind of push it on the younger kids. Um, even in elementary. I knew a guy. I haven't brought it to my kid's school, but I know a guy. He had to take his son out of his elementary school because all the kids were required to read a book about a gay turtle in the third grade. He was like, "Come on, man." He said, "I get it if you're doing it in high school because it's, keeping them informed and letting them know things. But as young as elementary, they don't need to be learning about this stuff, you know." And I always have to break it down, tell my kids certain things too. But go ahead.
Yeah, they priming the kids for the programming. You know what I'm saying? It's not education, it's indoctrination. Right? It's indoctrination. But like I said, we got to get control of our children. The state is not your children's father, right? It's like the state is the parent and we the caregivers, we the babysitters. Nah, man. You think about it, the schools spend more time, active time with your kids than most families do. We got to get back to sitting at the table and eating dinner with each other, talking about our day. Put them fucking phones down.
Yeah.
Put the phones down. Hashtag put the phone down.
Yeah, man. Because, the crazy part, like, my wife, I had to implement that rule with her. We'll go out on a date and she's scrolling on her phone. And I tell her, when we're together, especially with eating, put the phone down. My kids can't even look at TV. They know when we come to the table, they'll try to sneak. But as soon as they look up and see me, they automatically pause whatever they're doing on TV just to come eat. And I tell them, that's not the end of all. You know, leave that alone. Like when it comes to school, dealing with these kids in school, like I tell people, you got 8 hours of sleep. Most get less,
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. But you got 8 hours of sleep, 7 hours of dealing with the kids in school, 15.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at another 5 hours, depending on the sports that they're dealing with in school. That's 20. So you're getting between, the hours, anywhere from 2 to 6 hours of being with your child.
Let's be honest, because you got to sleep, you got to take your nap, you got errands to run. Let's say 4 at the most.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
most. But like I said, man, these boys, like, you destroy a nation's ability to reproduce. There's no need to war with that. There's no need to war with that nation. It'll destroy itself within 3 generations. It will destroy itself within 3 generations. And if our kids right now, if they not chasing the bag, right? If they not chasing the bag, no matter what it is, scamming credit cards, trying to scam people on Cash App, PayPal, you name it, man. What happened? Like, what happened to just being okay? What happened?
It's social media. They giving them a face of always wanting more. You always have to show these pictures that you're going on trips, you're buying clothes. It's more or less for the validation, man. They want to be validated on every little thing in life. If you have a child, validation. If you're buying a new car, validation. Home, everything, all the way down to your shoes, to what you eat. You got to take pictures and validate it.
Yeah, man. I look at social media. Why is a great tool for people of like minds to get together. I look at it as a serious piece of population control. I seriously do. Right? They got people like look. Like I said, this is what they do. They give you the product that you buying. right? Throw everybody in the house, let them meet virtual. That's what they're doing anyway. And what's crazy, like, and I know we kind of veering off subject, but that's like before the vid hit, the scamdemic hit, right? I went to a concert, and it was an old school concert, Slick Rick the Ruler, EPMD. Good time, man. We had a good time, right? And I'm sitting up there and I'm looking around the crowd, and the energy was hype. I mean, from the stage, at least the stage portion, right? But we so busy putting what we should be taking in with our senses, right? The eyes, the crowd, the show on the stage, the light system, the smoke, whatever, right? Your ears to pick up the music, the bass drum, the treble, you know what I'm saying? I know Mark Nash, my man in there, underrated, my man in there, but I know Mark Nash understands this because he's a music fiend, right? Where you can, dissect and hear the music and hear the bars and, hear certain drops in the music, right? But people are relegating this entire experience to a 5.7-inch screen. Right? The way you remember that event is that you looking in when you want to see it, you go look at it in your phone on this 5.7-inch screen when you had the entire venue there for the taking in. Right? So
Yeah.
like I said, I have a phone, but I'm telling you, bro, like I have a phone for work and when my wife need me for something. Otherwise, don't call me, bro. And if you do call me, don't text me, call me. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your voice. I want to be able to hear and register if you're okay. If your voice is not, what I'm used to hearing. So I can ask you, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Do you need me for something? Do you want to talk?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Because I believe, man, when it come down, go ahead.
no, you go ahead, man. I was done, bro.
I was just gonna say, a lot of texting things get lost in translation. You can read certain things wrong, and you might see one thing, but they're meaning something else. You might be going through something, dealing with some emotions, and someone send you a text and say, "Hey, man, hurry up, um, bring my phone down, or just do this and do that." You're looking at the text because you're angry or you're dealing with something, and you're taking it with aggression. Like, I know they're not yelling at me, telling me to do this and that. You have issue with it. But I mean, it comes down to it. I'm with you, man. I like people calling me. I'd rather talk than text. You know.
But it's like, our children are living in this false sense of reality, right? And no matter what happens, the game's not gonna change out in the real world. Right? It's not gonna change, no matter what nobody say. I don't get it, man. But like I said, us as melanated people, as black people, as African Americans, whatever you want to call yourself, we need to get back to taking care of our families. Make sure you're okay first, because if you're not okay, you can't do Nathan. And I mean that in all aspects. If you're a spiritual person, spiritually, mentally, physically healthy, right? But we gotta get our kids back. We gotta get our kids back, sons and daughters. And it's funny to me, like I look out in the world and it was kind of like how the roles reversed, right? Back when I was a shorty, baby daddies wasn't shit, right? They popping up girls, getting them pregnant, you know what I'm saying, dipping out. But now it seems like baby mamas are the new baby daddies in the new millennium, you know what I'm saying, in 2020. You got these girls who ain't raising their kids and, dumping their daughters off, twerking and letting their kid, meet I don't know how many men. Like, what when come on, man. We can't keep playing this game thinking it's going the ship gonna right itself. No, we have to right the ship, right? No matter what, even though they wasn't my sons, I raised them. And I instill certain values in them. You a man, remain honorable. Your word is all you got, your word and your balls. Look a man in his eye. Don't let no man disrespect you. Don't give him a reason to disrespect you. So that way, if he does, you know you in the right to check that man. Handle your business correctly. Tackle all problems when they hit the door. Announce that problem if you need assistance until, because if not, that problem might get too big. And then next thing you know, it's out of control and can't nobody help you with it. Right? So like I said, man, but like a emotion is between people. And females, especially, and I hate saying this, especially our women, man, are way too emotional and reactive. I'm not saying that all women don't do it, but ours just take it over the top. Your child is not sexy at one. You shouldn't have your girlfriends kissing all over your baby when he 2 or 3 years old. Talking about you, my boyfriend. That's not cool. If a man did that to your daughter, you'd be ready to put him in jail. He'd be everything under the sun on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Black Twitter, you name it. Girls, put your penis is showing. Put the penis up. You are a female. Stop fighting your nature. Men, stop fighting your nature. You was put here for a reason. It's a million people in graveyards all over the world that wish they had your life. What type of legacy are we looking to leave for our families, man? We gonna keep them in this rat race, dog? Keep them on this hamster wheel? Nothing changes until we change it. Ain't nobody gonna give us shit. There is no savior. You save yourself. You plant the seeds now in the foundation to save your family. And like I tell people all the time, it ain't about dough. Dough can change at any time. The dollar about to die. It'll be Bitcoin in a second or whatever type of electronic chain link they got going. Dough ain't nothing. Dough is just a means to an end. Teach your child better than you did. That's all I could do is teach my child better. That's it. But y'all out here got y'all kids. Oh, my son got on Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Air Jordans and no one cares. Shoes are shoes. We so backwards as a people. It's sad when you think about it, man. It really is sad, bro. That shit is depressing. It depresses me when I think about it, bro. But all I can be responsible for is mine. And until my people show me they in line, all you can do is take care of yourself and take care of your family. You still there, bro? I don't know where he at, guys. Let me read some comments till you get back. Ebo Sosa, peace to you, God. He said it started with television. It's the ultimate controller. Right, Ebosa. It's tell eye vision. Right? Tell lies vision. That's why it's called television programming. People, but like I said, our people don't know words. They tell you what it is. You just got to understand. Right? Ebosa also said that's why Prince used to never allow phones in his concerts with good reason.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, you back?
Yeah, my headset
All
popped
right,
off.
man. I went off for a little bit, so I relinquished the mic to you, bro.
Oh no, you good, man. No, I was listening. My headset just went out, and I can. I'm trying to hook it back up now. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, like I said, it all starts with family, man. Our women need to learn to be women again, right? Our men need to be men, and everything else will fall into place. Like I tell people all the
I'll take
time,
them
man,
other ones down.
you have to you have to set an example. You have to lay the foundation for
Yeah, I can
your.
carry the other ones down by myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
we can hear you, bro. You working? You working?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm always making money, man.
Sir
Always out here.
Senior, salute. How you doing, brother? Underrated darkness, peace, God. Wig Williams, thank you for blessing the chat. We appreciate y'all time, man. You could be anywhere in the world, but you here. We appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, man, all you can do is the best you can do. And once you become an adult, I ain't talking about, like I said, you turn 18 and yay, I'm an adult, I can get out my mama's house. No, when you're able to override your programming and establish logical thinking, right? When you become aware of what was correct and what wasn't correct that was taught to you, that's when you become grown. You have to we all have to realize that the universe has certain immutable laws that no man or woman can change or escape from. Right? We got these people doing their damnness to just destroy families. And what if there's no families, there's no reproduction. If there's no reproduction, there's no children. If there's no children, there's no legacy. If there's no legacy, there's no nation. You look everywhere on your TV screen, from P Valley all the way to Power to whatever show you find popular. American Gods, right? And they got something going on with some side shit as far as sexuality. And it's like I said before, if you're a man or a woman and you're not trying to make at least one child, why are you here? Why are you here? But we have to be better, right? It used to be back in the days, like she said, is that when you walk to your neighborhood, I mean, everybody watched out for everybody, right? Everybody in their neighborhood knew each other, and you didn't get put in jail for checking somebody's kids, right? Because your mama knew Miss Allison down on the second floor knew what to expect of you because she knew your family. We don't know each other anymore. That's why I extend this to every person in here. When I see one of my people, I don't care if I know them or not. I introduce myself. How you doing, brother? I'm Rick. How's your day going? Peace, sister. Peace, goddess. How you doing? My name is Rick. How are you doing today? You good? We can't be afraid of our own people. We can't be afraid of our own people. We can't be afraid of our own people, man. They have built into us to have an inherent trust of one another, inherent distrust of one another, even if that person never gave you no reason. Oh, this person looks a certain way. They looked at me funny. What? It's crazy when you think about it, man. It's crazy when you think about it. And our kids just soak this shit up like a sponge. And what makes it so bad with the internet and what we have as far as technology, misinformation gets pulled into them faster than ever. We got our kids on iPads and cell phones at their most important times of their learning lives. Everybody knows, oh, your kids ain't got to see, they got ears. They soaking up everything you do. All the information in front of them, they're soaking up like a sponge. And this is what forms their subconscious mind, which really dictates their thoughts. But as far as our sons go, we have to hold ourselves accountable, and hold our sons accountable for the actions that they do.
Yeah. I mean, it comes to a point, man, you know, like that's why I say the reason for me actually starting my channel, because I was dealing mostly with trucking, you know, talking to guys, telling guys to start driving. You don't need CDLs to do just basic straight truck. And as I got into the manosphere, I started listening to the guys, and I'm, you know, hear a lot of guys hurt. Some of them are misguided, don't understand certain things, and that's why I'm kind of bringing a light to that to get people to come to the channel and understand. You know, ain't nothing wrong with having a family. You know, ain't nothing wrong with working with somebody to kind of build a legacy. You know, even if you don't have kids, still getting that life insurance for the nieces and nephews, because you know when you die, the wealth dies with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Agreed, man.
I'm gonna go on mute for a minute real quick.
Man, you gotta eat.
Yeah. But you know, that's why I was saying, man, you know, telling a lot of guys, man, you gotta be patient, man. You know, do the right thing. You know, understand what's going on with your life, man. Get guys focused on, you know, what needs to be done for themselves. You know, the understanding of you doing the right thing for yourself and for others. You know, like I tell guys in this space, you should be subscribing to majority guys within the space. You know, that's why I'm mostly, you know, over there underrated. Mark's channel, you know, dealing with those guys, man. You know, they put me in connect with you, man. You smart, intelligent brother. You know, I like the way you move.
I appreciate that, man. I just feel like I like connecting with people who just think. You don't have to think like me. I don't. It's not about that. It's like I said, a lot of our people just react and take in the general information that's fed to them within the populace, right? We got to learn to think as a people. It'll change your life. I'm telling you, it will change your life, man. Stop reacting all the goddamn time. Sit down, take a breath, and think. Whatever you got to do, if you need to pull on that, excuse me, you got to pull on that Cali. You do what you got to do. Think. It'll change your life. You'll be just amazed by how talking to other people and expanding your circle of information, how quick your decisions start to get better. Because you see both sides of the coin. You can see the whole truth coming. You can see both sides of what's coming at you. Right? So, like I said, man, I would just, if I have anything to say after this, man, out of this, Pull your kids to the side. Be real with them. Just be real with them. Right? I never lied to my kids about nothing. I never lied to my children about nothing. Why would I want to lie to you? Why would I want to see you hurt you, my child? My job is to make this route easier for you. Right? I want to give you a boost up, put you ahead of the game, not behind it. Right? So start with your children, man. I don't care if you got a baby mama that's out of pocket. Get your kid, man. Get your kid. Let that kid know you there for them. Open up dialogue with your kid, man. Teach them the do's and don'ts. And like I said, you're not going to have all the answers. Hell, nobody does. But the answers you have will be answers they don't have to go through those experiences to get. Those bad decisions you made, because y'all know how it is. You get that first piece of cutty and you a man, you shot that nut up in the chick, can't nobody tell you shit. Same with a female. You get that first piece of long thing, your mama can't tell you nothing. You're a grown woman now. Right? Get your kids, man. If you smart and you made a baby with a woman, whatever you got to go through, stay with that woman. If she ain't crazy trying to kill you or just on some mental health shit, man, marry that woman, man. Marry that woman. And I ain't talking about going down to the courthouse and getting on paper. Ride out with that woman, man. It's a lot easier raising your own child and your own legacy than going to have to pick up behind somebody else's. And no matter what people keep saying, oh, yeah, I already know somebody's kids is going to suffer. No one has that much time. Nobody. And get off this goddamn social media. I use social media as a contact point in networking. I just got back on Facebook after a year. And that's because my channel, I need to get my channel up and running. And we need to get back to loving people, man. Love those who love you. That's all I got from it, man.
Hello, hello.
Peace, God. How you doing?
Oh man, doing wonderful, man. I'm just getting myself started, man. I happen to work the graveyard, but I just wanted to jump on the panel real quick and say thank you. Thank you for what you're saying today. Everything's been very I've been totally congruent with what you've been saying, and definitely there's been some enlightenment going on because especially when you're talking about the screenplay, television screens and whatnot. I think speaking from a place of accountability, my household has a lot of screens going on, and we tend to kind of use them for convenience when we want to be in our own little secluded world, But it's just, you're right. We gotta put them things down and get a little bit more connected physically. Just being able to look in each other's eyes and sit at the table and eat some damn food. Connect because everything has us pretty much disconnected now in
Disconnected.
some kind of way. Yep, in
Like
some kind of way.
like it's like you said, man. Is this technology was supposed to bring us together, but it's pushing us apart.
Yeah, yep. And like you said earlier, television programming is I believe Alan Watts said it. I was looking at some of Alan Watts stuff. He said it's the greatest indoctrinated tool ever made. Tells you how to think, tells you how to dress, tells you how to walk, tells you how to breathe,
Tells you how
tells
to
you,
react.
you know.
Everything, man.
And this is something that you don't need to have all these things to know how to do. You know, it's the tool of division. I mean, of course, it's also something that can be educational, but the way it has been manipulated for us in this society has yielded us pure detriment in the position that we're in now as a people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly, bro. It's like I
yeah.
said, man, you look at the situations back to the technology that's being used against us, right? You think about everything they say, they especially doing this vid, right? All in this together, blah, blah, blah. But everybody in their own house,
Hmm.
right? Think about it, right? You got Instagram, Snapchat, all these things, right? But you got all this access to supposedly a person, but you will meet that person and go on a date, and you really don't know nothing about them.
Exactly. And it's awkward. You almost feel awkward physically literally physically being around them when this is natural. This is
Right.
the way it's supposed to be.
That's the way
It's
you were supposed to meet them, right? You were supposed to sit down and have a conversation and ask that person, tell me about your mom. Tell me about you. Tell me where you grew up at, right? Tell me about
Mhm.
when you was little, right? What you don't like, what you do like, right? Like people, I don't get how people don't see this. It's crazy.
I don't need it, brother. I don't get it. I mean, just the fact that we now have this perception of where when you hear a lot of female, I'm sure we've all heard this before. A female to say, I like him or I like you, but I don't want to ruin a good friendship." Duh, you're supposed to be. Look, what better mate to be with than your best friend?
My
That's what
wife
you're
is
supposed.
my best friend, doggy.
Exactly.
What is y'all talking about? But it's like I said, man, they got the game so misconstrued. Like I it's so frustrating, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
frustrating. It's like and I understand it, but the whole thing is these people playing out centuries in advance, right? And the thing is, it's just like the way I say it for this is especially with the technology and the way the kids is learning, they don't know no better. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's what we fail in them as parents is that they don't know no better. So if this is their normal, right? Who is anybody to tell them that it's not normal once in their mind they believe that this is what life is? You see what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
So, and it's just like with the COVID, when you think about it, right? It's getting to the point where you can't even remember what it was like to go to a basketball game.
Yeah, I believe my daughter's already been kind of conditioned out of how to forget how to be at a playground with other kids, and she only had one kindergarten year to be in a social environment like a school, and it's sad, man. It getting me choked up right now thinking about it because when we grew up, we had playgrounds, parks, skating rings, movie theaters, all these things where we had social gatherings
Yeah.
and hell, we used to sneak out to be with our friends out in the streets, all that kind of stuff, man. That shit is go. Excuse me,
You
I'm
all
just
right,
getting a little frustrated.
you all right, bro.
you
But
know,
it's like I tell people, y'all got to, if you understand the human mind and the psyche of how habits are formed and broken, you know what I mean? It only takes the real gist of it is that you can break a form of habit in 90 days,
yeah,
right? In 90 days, like if you with a person, you should give any person 90 days. They'll show you who they are within 90 days. Nobody can keep up a facade for 3 months.
that's
Nobody.
right. That's right.
Right? But with that being said, with our human condition, the way our mind works with routine, after 90 days, your mind starts to adapt because we're mammals. That what we do, we adapt to our environment, not the
Hmm.
other way around.
Hmm.
Right? So, like I said, it's not going to be a new normal. This is your normal,
Mm-mm.
right? It's up to you to be able to condition your mind to understand what is and what's real.
That's right. Absolutely right, man. And as long as there's a dependency on some outer teachings, some outer tool, you're gonna always be misled. You're gonna always be controlled. You're gonna always be in the scenarios and situations that you're in, which are to your detriment and, quite frankly, pointing towards your extinction. I get into quite a few arguments with my father about a lot of things. Right now, he's currently got me on the disowned list because of my views on religion and homosexuality and things of
Yeah.
that nature.
Yeah.
And I've been very recluse now because of this, because I find when I say these certain things, when I'm about to say on this, I hope we don't get shut off, but I honestly equate a lot of it to religion and how we've been taught as a people to pretty much, worship an entity and a deity that doesn't look like us. Every seems like every single race from Asian everyone has something that looks like them that they pray to, that they worship, except us, And I said to my dad, I said, we're agents in our own demise, pretty much, and I think it's because of that. When your Lord and Savior is the same thing as your oppressor and enslaver, that's what it boils down to. That's what's going to happen. And
Exactly, man.
and he just was like, oh no, how dare you? You just going in on me about Jesus Christ and all this stuff. I'm like, man, you need to read more, pops. You need
Jesus. I'm Jesus. Mark in here and sir, they know. I done said I'm Jesus. You Jesus. You a God. We all gods.
Yes.
That's what y'all don't understand. Jesus, and talk about Jesus. This is how they use Jesus against the black family. Let me explain. Right? You think about it, right? So you have women, especially nowadays, the independent women. I love calling them independent, right? Until they get married, then they want a man to take care of them, right? But let me tell you the game with Jesus, right? So a woman to tell you off bat, right? Let's say we was all still in the game. We out there chasing, right? Let's say we all still in the game. A woman to tell you off bat. You as a man got to give me something to be submissive to. Right? But they'll praise Jesus and give Jesus every single bit of credit for doing not a goddamn thing. Right? You getting up every day out on this goddamn plantation, because no matter what y'all say, we all out here hustling this goddamn dollar. It's a plantation. Right? You get up and go make miracles happen, make money pop up when it was none, right? Make a way. Right? Make a way. Right? And she'll get on Facebook and call her friends and say, thank you, Jesus.
Oh man. Talk it, brother.
That's part one of it, right? But let's put it in the psyche of it. Yeah. Right? If there's a man, part two. If I'm tied to you, if I'm bound to you as my wife, right? What does it say? Forsake all others. They don't say forsake all others but Jesus, right?
That's right.
They don't say that. And if there's a man out there that's invisible, right, who can alter the decisions of your woman, either because she don't want to allow you to be the head, even though you've never done anything to break your house up, right? She's going to look at that man that doesn't exist as a smarter and wiser and better man than you.
Thus subconsciously putting another entity before you.
Right? So no matter what you do, they'll never be satisfied.
Ever.
And put on top of that, the image of that person in their head is a white man.
A white man. and to add the icing on the cake, everything that is considered to be in the afterlife where they think they're going to go consists of white leaders, white angels, white roads, everything white. So that's why I in so many words I got into it with him, and he was like, F you, you need to be saved. I'm like, saved from what? Saved from who? The threats that are out here that are amongst me are physical threats. Ain't nothing out in the sky that's gonna come down and kill me. I mean, unless you talk about all of a sudden an asteroid hitting the planet, but come on, man. And oh man, it's deep. It's deep.
And to say this, brother, like And it's not that I'm not a spiritual person. I believe there's something that created everything, right? Because if that was the case, if you see what I'm saying, it's a master architect, whether it was an accident or the universe itself, something created all of this.
Of course.
Right. But what I'm saying is the way that story of Jesus has been leveraged against the black man, and the way it's the black family, right? And the way it's being used to suppress as a figurehead over a man's home. That's what they're doing with it.
Yep. He'll never truly lead his household, you know. And it's funny you say that, brother, because that's another thing that we got into it about. My father asked me, so what, you saying all this stuff to me, what is it that you believe? And I said, well, with me, it's never really a matter of belief, it's a matter of fact with me. And the thing with me is that I tend to simplify things. I go down to the lowest common denominator and I hold that as my answer, you know. And what that relates to in my understanding about reality is that I believe that the sun worshipers had it the best, because it seems like nature is a blueprint of how things are supposed to be. We have all different types of blades of grass, all different types of trees, all different types of animal, different types of cats, different types of dogs, different types of birds, different types of whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. And the same goes with the human species on this planet. Every single thing has a specific purpose. Every human has a specific purpose on this planet. That's why we're placed in different sections of this planet. And to hold one over the other is ridiculous, because everything has a specific purpose. Just because you see these white men in these strongmen contests, you know, they're all from, you know, Norway, all that stuff. Well, the reason why they're all huge like that is because the things they eat, there's proteins, fish over there in those lands. You take a guy from Kenya who's, you know, in more of a hotter climate, you know, he's built the way he is to survive where he's from. And you flip the coin on both of them, they're both going to have a hard time adapting. And how I relate this to creation is that there's one common thing that gives this whole planet, including us and everything on it, life, and that's the sun. So if you want to go ahead and consider anything to worship the idea that the sun gives us life, and you're supposed to nurture this planet in accordance with that, instead of destroying it the way we've been doing. I mean, just you think about it, you use common sense. What happens when the body is drained of blood? It dies. What happens when the planet's going to be drained of water? It's going to die. And I'm pretty certain the same thing's going to happen when all the oil is gone too. When you drain these entities of their life blood, they perish. So why not use common sense about this instead of assigning some imaginary entity as to being your Lord and Savior? That thing up in the sky gives you and everything else on this planet life. Think about that and chew on that. And he got quiet for a long time, you know, but that's just the way I structure that's the way I look at life. I don't, you know, I don't put too much effort into it, because look, these things are designed to be stitched together so where we can't comprehend it. We can try to debate about it all day long, but all these religions and everything, which to me are all roads to the same thing, either peace of mind, Zen mode, or some grandiose land of where life is, you know, is eternal, which is Zen to me as well. They're all roads to the same goddamn destination. So why are we tripping?
Yeah, I mean, the destination is the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody gets out of this thing alive.
None.
Nobody.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So,
and I honestly believe there's like you are free to believe what you want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people don't like. It doesn't matter what I believe. I'm not gonna change your life unless you want me to.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You know, and even talking about believing, like I said, I always try to say it's not what you believe, is what you know. That's what's going to get you through this life. It's what you know and who you know. You know, and I give the example a lot. I'm sure we've all been on jury duty. Well, jury duty.
No. I get out of jury duty every time.
I tried to, man, but they didn't snag me a couple of times, and And when I was on there, it hit me. I said, you know what? This is straight up bullshit. Because, all right, here we are trying to determine someone's outcome as no better than this individual. Yeah, he might be or she might be on trial. You got these jurors, you got this judge, you got the plaintiff, defendant, the lawyers, the prosecution, all that stuff like that. And here we are being presented a show, you know, and we're supposed to come to a conclusion of belief. No one knows the truth. No one was there to see what the hell happened with this individual that's on trial.
It's all what you
So,
believe.
yeah, it's all what you believe. You don't know the truth. So, to me, technically, to believe means to not know. I rather look at things as to what I know, and I, like I said earlier, when I look up in the sky and I see what that thing is doing, making things open up every single morning, and things grow from the ground every spring. I got 3 fruit trees in the back. I see how it works with them things, and they feed me very well. I use common sense and I say that's what it's about. You know, I don't say, "Oh, God is making the sun rise every single day." No, I mean, come on, man. No.
Like I said, there's immutable laws of the universe. No man or woman can escape. That's nature.
Exactly.
That's
It's
nature.
nature.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Right.
And
Peace reign the womb, man. I see you. Peace, goddess. I hope your day is well.
Oh yeah, Rain Woman. Salute to the lioness right there, man.
Yeah.
Salute to the lioness.
Sir, why don't you click in, man? You at work or something, sir? Sir always got the other side of the argument, man. That's cool,
Yeah,
though. I
man.
appreciate discourse, man. Like I said, we don't talk to each other. We need to learn to talk to each other. Right? There's nothing
Indeed.
wrong with disagreeing. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing, man. But yeah, like I said, man, as far as our sons, man, that's all on. I can't say it's all on us, man. It's on our women too. Like I said, we need to learn to come to a common accord, right? It's ladies, you don't have no penis. I'm just saying, all this male energy, this masculine energy all women have is not needed. And I understand. I'm telling you. Part of it is 50-50 our fault. It's our fault too, because a woman can't be a woman when she has to be a man out in this world. That means a man is not doing his job at home.
Facts on that, Ricky. Facts.
Like,
I
I
got 3
understand.
daughters. 3 daughters, brother, and I don't. People always say, "Oh, you know, your legacy is not going to continue. How do you feel about that?" I'm like, well, I used to feel kind of, you know, I used to feel a way about it, but then I started to perceive things a bit different. I am now the example of what these girls who are going to turn into women have as a man. So I'm going to hold myself in accordance to what I understand is to be honorable, to have integrity, to have morality, and learn how to display proper protection. So they know how to recognize it within a mate that they choose, and that is how I'm going to contribute to society.
No doubt.
That's my legacy right there.
Cain to God. Peace, God. Peace to the God.
Oh, my man Kane up in here.
Peace to the God. What's going on, Ricky? What's going on,
Kane?
Evo? My bro, Sheed. What's going on?
I'm blessed, bro. How's your day going?
Good so far. Everything good, you know.
Right, all right.
Just sitting back listening to y'all bill right now. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Man, what you got for me? Speak on it.
Well, to what Evo was just saying, like your legacy definitely still continues because you taught your daughters. You taught your daughters what you know, and you instilled your knowledge on your daughters. So it still goes on. It still carries on because it's still part of you. And you know what I'm saying? That's still gonna carry on because what you taught them, they'll teach their kids. And that'll be part of your legacy.
That's right. It's weird. I got 2 grandsons that actually look like me. They didn't come from me.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Your gene is still in there. So
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Even though he had daughters, he got grandboys. You know, them boys are gonna come up there, look up to grandpa, see what grandpa doing. You know, going back to the same thing, what I say with our fathers, man. You got, even though they might have a dad that's there for them, their granddad is always gonna step up and be that man in their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of women gotta understand through all the turmoil or whatever you going through, you know, having that man that's there to kind of raise that boy in a certain way.
You know, just like we was talking about earlier, you might have a guy that, you know, might be a horrible father, or you might be a horrible man. But that shows you in the mind frame of, you know, if I don't want to be like him as a father, I'm gonna raise my kids different. I'm gonna learn more. I'm gonna be more more student in the game to kind of, you know, put my best foot forward, show my kids this is the right way to live. This is the right way to be.
Everything's
sure.
a lesson, bro. Everything's a lesson. That's why how can you take L's if you paying attention? Right?
Facts.
How can you take L's? Everything's a lesson. Fail forward. Fail forward.
Hmm.
Right? But it's like Cain, and I want to agree with Cain to God, man. Ebo, your blood is your blood, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter could birth a king, the king of the world.
That's right.
That's still your blood.
And ain't that weird how it's almost a shaming tactic now? Oh, nigga, you got nothing but daughters, man. There's something wrong with you, man. I hear that so much, man. And it, you start to believe it after a while. You know, like, is there something wrong? Why did I have? Is there anything else I can produce? You know, so
You was probably just a mean player back in the days, Ebo.
Man was thick on him.
yeah, I got high body count, man. A high body count.
Yeah, you know how that go.
Well,
I
yeah,
always wanted a daughter. I never had one. I got 2 sons.
man, I got all of them, man. I got
Yeah.
me with my sons. I got my sons. I got 2 sons and a daughter that I made, that I produced.
Hey,
But all together, my wife, she's got 2 sons. She's got 2 sons and she had 3 daughters. So we're a family of
oh man.
we're a big family. And like I said, I told all my children the same. I told all my daughters the game, look, this is what it is. Da 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 da. It's not no different. He a sucker, but why is you with a man that can't take care of you? I'm just being honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Time, where I teach my kids, time waits for nobody. And contrary to popular belief, time ain't fucking money.
Go ahead now.
Yeah.
Time is not
That's a
money. You
fact.
can never get a minute back.
That is
Do it. Time is the most important resource you have in this life.
You don't want to be that older dude looking back at life with regrets.
Yes.
It goes so fast, man. People don't understand, especially once you have kids, man. That's why your kids is how you time travel. People don't understand.
Exactly.
You ever be sitting down and have a thought or a vision, you don't know where the fuck it came from?
Yeah.
Right? That's your blood. The DNA is coded with information from your lineage on back. Don't nobody have to teach you to breathe.
That's right. That's right. I know a lot of people that used to talk against that, and until I had a little bit of a an understanding about those monarch butterflies, how it's in their DNA, that's coded to where they go mate. They're never taught where to go to do that, but they all gather in the same place every single time to do their mating sessions. And I said, well, damn, so things can be encoded in your DNA to pass down to generations. That's wild, you know. Yep, and there's no difference for us. It absolutely can be the same with us, and you're right. It is the same with us, Ricky.
Yes, sir. Sir, peace. How you doing? Peace to you, guy. How you doing, brother?
Salute to you, bro.
Yes.
Salute to the panel and
Peace.
everybody in the chat, man.
What's happening, brother?
Don't wait, sir. Speak on it. What's happening? What's happening with you, bruh? What's happening?
What you want me to speak on first, bro?
Whatever you feel like it, man. Let your spirit speak for you.
I don't know, man. It's just like, I know you was like, well, sir, I always got the opposite side. I don't ever advocate for the devil, but I always like to have, a well-rounded conversation. You gotta see it from both point of views. I don't know, like it's something that I find interesting that people usually use, watered down scriptures, or they misrepresent scriptures, or they even use principles that are found in the scriptures, but then they talk against the Bible. I was like, I never understood that. Like, how can you follow something but then talk against it? A house divided can't stand. I never understood it.
Well, the reason people will use the scriptures because somebody that goes by religion, that's something that you know and you understand. So we would use what you know and understand to break down what we're trying to say.
And
That's
then
why I
also,
usually go into the scriptures when I start because I'm not about the Bible and all that, but I study it because I read between the lines when I read that book. I don't take that book at face value. To me, the Bible just basically means basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's
yep,
all the Bible is a book with a bunch of is like it's like a book with a bunch of stories that anybody can relate to because history always repeats itself. So that's why that book is so powerful to certain people because it has a bunch of stories that's like deja vu. You can see it in your life.
Facts. Like
take it,
Job.
take it for the
I'm sorry,
book of
go ahead, sir.
Eli. Now you good, but look at the book of Eli, the movie. How everything was all down to just that one book. You know, put all that time and effort to get what he want, and when he finally got the book he wanted, he couldn't even read it. It was in braille. A lot of people they kind of got to the end of the movie and couldn't figure it out. I've told a lot of people about that. That he was blind at the end. It got to the point they were looking so, like what they say, the forest over the trees, that they didn't see what was right in front of them.
Hmm. That Bible, that Bible has. See, I think what people do that you're talking about, sir, is they chew the fat, they chew the meat and spit out the fat. People who like use double standards when it comes to the Bible, they do that, and which I agree with Kane. The Bible is a very important tool, especially sections of it such as Proverbs and Ecclesiastes and Matthew, things of that nature, things that you can glean wisdom from, things that you can literally take and apply in your life, especially a good paraphrased version of the Bible. Those seem to hit a lot harder. But that's what I've always grown and harnessed from the Bible. I've read it cover to cover, loved the stories, couldn't relate to them all, and was turned off by a lot of it. And there was points of it to where I had to say, "All right, I got to keep going. I got to keep going." It was a tough read for me at the time when I sat down and read it. But when I got to certain sections of it, I says, "Oh, okay." Like especially like I said, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Matthew, Corinthians, things of that nature, Psalms, things of that nature. Those sections have parts within them that every man can apply, and most women can apply to their lives as well. And once you are able to relate to the information that's presented to you, then you can take something from it. But a lot of that stuff in there is being used as a control mechanism, as a tool to use as I guess you put people on a pedestal when you pasteurize them, and people tend to look at people who are in those positions as uh, representatives and greater than, when these lessons in the Bible apply to everyone. No one is greater than the other, and that's what I gained from it. That's actually where I learned to adapt the concept of no one is better than you, only better at something. That's what I picked up from the Bible. You
Yeah.
know.
For me, the Bible is. I think it really depends on your understanding, right? Like even that, like I could say a part of it and explain to you what it means to me, but you'll look at me like I'm crazy because of the way you were taught it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way you were taught it in your teachings. But who knows what's right and what's wrong? It's how you apply it to your life. Right? It's how you apply it to your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, I might bastardize it sometimes. If you feel that I didn't say the scripture correctly, correct me. That's okay. Right? But then let's discuss what the words mean to you. Right? Because again, a lot of our people don't know the etymology of words.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And again, you don't know what context they were used either. Right? So the Bible is an open book for interpretation. That's why it's all over the world and been, translated out umpteenth amount of times. But I don't think that should put a wedge in between nobody because two people believe differently. We just believe different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't think the same. Right? But nothing should hold you back to such a standard that you can't grow past it.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of like it's certain things that I don't rock with. It's certain stuff like I don't feel that a person should be disingenuous if a person doesn't understand martial arts and then they talk on martial arts and say that it's worthless. How can you say that something's worthless and you don't really know? Oh, well, I seen a couple kung fu flicks or I took a couple classes, but if you haven't really studied and learned it or understand the concept of it, like there's a thing in martial arts which is called a kata, and it's named different stuff, but it's pretty much the same thing. It looks like a dance, and people say that's worthless. But the point of a kata is to practice the movements so your body will learn that muscle memory. So, but if you don't know what the purpose of it's for, you don't think it's worthless. It's like anything else. You could find the best tool in somebody's shed, but if you don't know the purpose of that tool, you're gonna think it's worthless. And if we don't understand these tools, for example, that's in the Bible, and know how to apply them, we'll say it's worthless because our lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Smooth in the building. How you doing, bro? Peace to you, God.
What up, Smooth?
What's good,
Salute,
Smooth?
bro.
Hey, peace to y'all, man. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we
sir.
hear you loud and clear.
We hear you.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening, gentlemen. Good
Peace,
evening, gentlemen.
peace.
Yeah, I was just I was just catching on to the conversation. I thought it was BGS was on the panel, but it looks like that was Ricky Williams. I was like, damn, is that BGS? I don't see him nowhere.
Always imitated, never duplicated. Ricky Williams, it's all right.
I hear it now. Now that I'm really paying attention, I hear it. You do sound
You
like
do hear it, right?
I'm paying
No,
attention, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he sounds like me. He sound like me.
Okay. I take that.
Yes, sir.
Let's check them born dates.
Oh yeah. But yeah, y'all carry on, brothers, man. I'm listening in. I'm gonna chime in a second. Let me go on mute. Y'all carry on.
Nah, but the brother, I agree with what the brother is saying, but that's why I said a lot of people take that book at face value, and that's why I said you have to read between the lines. When you're reading that book, you have to read between the lines. There's a lot of stories in there that you can use, and there's a lot of information and knowledge you can get from the book. But a lot of people take it to face value, and they become parrots, where they're just reciting what they read,
Yeah.
but they don't have the full understanding
Yeah, but
of what they're
Most
reading.
people don't even know the Bible. It's lots of preachers who don't know the Bible. There's
right.
lots of people who will teach you what the Bible says, and they don't even be that. Like cleanliness next to godliness. That's not in the Bible. You can't. They'll tell you, "Oh, no one can judge me but God." That's not in the Bible. Tupac said that. So, I'd rather have Jesus and silver and gold. That's not in the Bible. Kirk Franklin said that. So it's a whole bunch of those, and I can go on and on about all these little phrases that people say is in the Bible, but it's not. Oh, never judge anyone. That's not in the Bible. From Genesis to Revelations, it tells you. Even some of the books that are at question, and some of them that are named in the Bible that may not be in the King James version, or whatever, or in the Rick James version. You know, there's a million versions. You know, but very simply, a lot of stuff people just add to the Bible. They'll tell you never judge anyone, but multiple scriptures tell you that a man of God judges everything. How do you tell if something is hot or cold? You judge it. How do you tell if something is sour or sweet? You judge it. Taste and see that the Lord is good.
You taste it
You're
first.
judging.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like people will tell you stupid stuff because it don't go along with them. That's how we got all these different versions of the Bible. Like there's a homosexual Bible, but everybody knows being a homosexual is not only against your spirit, it's against your nature, because you can't procreate by being a homosexual.
No doubt.
Right. And
So
it indirectly promotes death.
you said what?
It said homosexuality indirectly promotes death. They paint death. Well, they spray
Population
paint death
control.
with love.
It's the whole purpose of homosexuality agenda is to have you only live once is a homosexuality agenda is have fun until you die. Don't promote life, don't make life, just waste your life until you die. Think about it. If you're always chasing excitement, it's exciting because your heart pumping and your pupils are dilating. In other words, you're in fear. Why is there fear? To save you from death.
Kareem Harry in the chat said judgment means having authority over something. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I guess we'd have to dissect that and really
Yeah, we have to dissect
multiple definitions of judgment.
Yeah, because if you look at judgment having authority over something, you're basically trying to control the narrative. You know, you're controlling the narrative in which they think about themselves. If you're judging them and they're setting themselves up to, accept your approval of your judgment, there falls a line of control. You know,
Excellent.
in the system of going into church, just like we were talking about. Sir said a lot of pastors don't even know deep into the Bible. They only know the Psalms that are being represented. They don't know that all the Psalms that were taken out, all the verses that were, kind of pulled out due to the, uprising of the slaves and, just of the demons and all kind of other things they talked about, just like dealing with a kid's book. Kids' book's supposed to be nice, happy, fun. They don't want you reading Nightmare on Elm Street or Jason, when you're like 5 and 6 years old. No, they want you to hear bears sting bears or gumdrops, whatever little books or whatever that makes you happy.
Watch Jane run.
Yeah. That judgment,
Yeah, man. To me, judgment is exactly what she says, right? A judgment means there's a result, right, at the end of it, right? So you simply have an opinion about somebody doesn't mean you're judging them. Judgment to me means that you have a direct effect over the outcome of what's going to happen for a certain situation. So I agree with what she said.
I always thought judgment was just a decision to come to a sensible conclusion about something,
That's what judgment is. That's what judgment is.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I think what she's describing is more of what might be considered an aspect of power, I mean, power, that's such a broad word because power can be broken into many, many different things depending on how you apply it. But yeah, I think that's more of a power definition. What does she say again? To have authority
she said judgment means having authority over something.
Yeah. That sounds more like power to me. A certain aspect of power. I don't know. I guess it's how you apply it, I guess, you know. Gold Professor, my man, Gold P up in here. Judge, render an analysis of something. It doesn't necessarily mean authority over something. A child can judge your niceness. It doesn't mean they are over you. Facts.
Yes, I agree with that, Gold Professor. That's why I was trying to say it like that. I was trying to bring it like I was trying to. Those were the words I was looking for, pretty much. What Gold
So
Professor
no, you're
just
trying
said.
to find a good way to say it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good way because somebody could judge you, and that don't mean that they really have power over you. You just judging me on the
Right.
basis that I don't live life according to the way your standards is.
Yeah, that's an opinion, right? But she said judgment.
Judgment is one. This like it's like when people don't use words correctly, like you were saying earlier. What do words really mean? And someone who's judgmental means someone who uses judgment. That means you see which is which. You compare and contrast. That's what judgment means. People try to use it in a negative or derogatory term, but that's not the case.
Yeah, well, shoot. Let's look up what we find. Let's search it and see what we can find here.
Yeah, somebody Google it. Somebody Google
I
it.
got
Pull it
y'all. I
up.
got y'all right. Google works for everybody, right? So give me a second.
Mhm.
Three kinds of judgment. I see there's 3 kinds of judgment here. Oh, god dang, I need glasses. Getting old. I feel like my mind is 27, but I'm 45.
I feel you, bro. I'm going through the same thing. I'm going through the same thing. I just had a birthday yesterday, so
Hey, belated, man. Belated born day, man. Congratulations.
appreciate you.
Yes, indeed.
Appreciate
Happy
you.
born day, King.
Shout out to
Appreciate
the
you.
boy King, man.
She, man, definitely good looking out. She, you already know. You my bro.
Hey, man, no problem. You know, we move in the area.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
y'all. I got y'all if y'all wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
All right.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Ricky.
This is via Merriam-Webster, guys. Merriam-Webster. Definition of judgment. Definition A, the process of forming an opinion or an evaluation by discerning and comparing. An
Okay.
opinion or estimated so formed. The
Mhm.
capacity for judging, discernment. The exercise of that capacity. 3, formal utterance of an authoritative opinion. An opinion so pronounced. It sounds like we're all right. A
Yeah.
formal
See,
decision.
that's what I was saying. It all boils down to opinion. When you deal with judgment, is basically boiling down to opinion of.
To the context, yeah,
Yeah.
of using it for, right? So a formal decision given by a court, an obligation such as a debt created by the decree of a court, a certificate evidencing such a decree, the final judging of humankind by God, a divine sentence or decision, specifically a calamity heard to be sent by God, a proposition stating something believed or asserted. If I could just say the English language is so bastardized, it's no wonder why it's so hard for people to learn.
It really is.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
But it sounds exactly like what y'all said, is that it's all dependent on the situation, context. So
Yeah, sister. So
everybody got that Jeopardy question right. Congratulations.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I didn't see anything about having power over a person in there, unless you want to start talking about the courts.
Not at all.
Other than that,
These
it's
goddamn
pretty.
kangaroo courts. Let's not talk about that. But back to the Bible, man. Like I said, it's all depend. To me, I honestly believe the Bible is just like Kane said, man. It's a blueprint for life, right? It's a blueprint for life, and nowhere, if you fought, nowhere have I seen that if someone's followed those words in their life with good faith, that their life turns out wrong or messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just that, like I said again, because the English language is so bastardized, a lot of stuff is lost in translation, just like the movie. So,
Yeah, I mean, you look at this as far as I was looking at the guy Zoe Williams, and he was breaking down, the Bible, and he read from the Quran. He actually learned Arabic to read from the Quran because he dealt with the words that were translated into the English language, they didn't know the definition. I mean, they couldn't actually translate certain words over to the English language. So they kind of just made up certain words to put certain words in, and it was crazy. I mean, he broke down the whole, because like Latin, the dead language, going into
Mhm.
there, and the whole aspect of not only learning from the Bible, reading the Quran, reading, just into Buddhism, different religions to kind
Mhm.
of get an understanding. Because mostly a lot of people say that the Bible and, other, from the Qurans are all just a map, you know, speaking all in parables, guidance, stories,
Mhm.
all those are the keys to kind of, help you move along life, make certain decisions, use wisdom upon what you're making decisions with.
But I do also believe that the Bible does explain, genetic experiments and things of that nature that were done within humanity.
Mhm. Yeah, it does seem to tap on that. Hell, that's very ironic how the Bible is literally descriptive of what is happening right now. You know, I mean, I don't want to call what we're in Sodom and Gomorrah, but there's certainly a lot of similarities as to what I remember reading about Sodom and Gomorrah in the United States.
Oh yeah. That's why I told you it's like a book of a bunch of stories. That's like I said, history repeats itself. So it's like a
Yeah.
book of deja vu.
Yes.
A lot of those stories in the book is things that, because you could be talking to a person that you never met in your life, and they could be from another country. But when y'all speak, you would look at them like, yo, I went through that same shit or similar. What I went through, and that's just the way that book is set up, to where it's stories that many people could see themselves living that life or going through that in life. That's why I say it's like a book of deja vu.
That's right. Hey, brothers, I found this. Let me read this for the sister that had the statement to make about judgment. I found what are the two types of judgment. It says there are two types of judgments: judgments that are discriminative and judgments that are evaluative. Judgments that are discriminative, i.e., sorry, bear with me, brothers, I ain't got no glasses on, prefer X over Y, reflect personal preferences and subjective opinions. I have to click on and see the rest of it. I don't know what the other one is. Oh, this article is real long. I'm not going to bore y'all with all this, but
Don't do
basically,
it.
but yeah, I like that it has the two types of judgments. The evaluative and discriminative. So it's how you apply it, like you said earlier, Ricky.
Mhm.
I guess another point I was trying to get at is like we talk about women coming with a masculine thing. No, I guess I'm gonna hit this other point first. Where they were saying that okay, well the Bible tells you to put nobody over your husband, but the Bible actually breaks that down. If you go through the Bible, Old and New Testament, it tells you that your thing is to please your husband and to please your wife. And it also tells you that the woman follows her husband as he followed God. So all of those things put the woman in subject to her husband, not enmity to the husband. So anytime someone says that, they're not really reading the Bible, even if it's a pastor. If a pastor tells you to go against your husband and it's not for the purposes of doing the right thing, then very simply he's telling you wrong, because even the Bible tells you then if what you want to do is enmity to your husband's will, you need to do what your husband say. And you doing the right thing, which is following your husband, will bring him to God. Follow God, follow what your husband say. So if all these people who go to church all these people who believe in church and the people who are against church, even if they actually looked at what the Bible says, it would tell you that women aren't supposed to be masculine by any means. So masculine women is against God. So if you're in the church and you're a masculine woman, you're against God. So you can't say I love the Lord and you're doing everything in enmity to him.
Well, anybody want to tap in on that one?
I'm gonna let y'all handle that one.
I mean, if you really break it down to a degree, it's true, because you look at it and when you get married, the woman's supposed to, well, let's say the king. The king has his queen, at his throne to his side. Always have the right as, I guess, the guard or whoever that's watching over you, and then the woman to the left, in most cases. And for her to have her position, most men, they kind of generally rule over the women. They set that standard to, kind of be there with you, helping you throughout ordeals and situations. Now, you will have someone come in the kingdom and run a, kind of take over. The best way to, break down the kingdom is always through that woman. And if she's not a woman that's, disciplined and, with that man on his purpose and what he stands on, ultimately, that's how the kingdom always get broken down, through the women.
I'd agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah, that's the point. Is like, that's another thing is, I think right now a lot of this stuff is our fault. Our fault as men, because there's only men on this panel. There's no disrespect to any of the women listening on the playback or in the chat or listening live, or but it's our fault as men, because we always patting women on the butt. We're always patting even men at times on the butt, and all that patting on the butt leads to homosexuality.
It is our fault, though. It is our fault. By all means. Right. It is our fault. Like I said,
We need to start telling women the truth. If we tell her the truth, yes, I care if you're fat. Yes, I care if you're musty. Yes, I care if you hard to get along with.
exactly.
I might smash a chick who's hard to get along with, because obviously I know there's something wrong with her. And because there's something wrong with her mentally, she's going to be more adventurous in the bed because she's going to want to please me more. So I smashed the crazy chick, but I don't marry the crazy chick, not on purpose.
Smashing the crazy chick empowers crazy chicks. Smashing the crazy chick empowers crazy chicks. Yeah, that is our fault, because a lot of us have done that in our lives. Smash the crazy chick knowing damn well we wasn't supposed to be messing with that crazy chick.
Now, Kane, are you sure we knew damn well? I mean, I know some of them did, but sometimes, I mean, I've smashed some chicks and then later on found out they were crazy.
Their representative be out, man, you know what I'm saying? But it's like he said, though. It's like, I don't blame people for my fuck ups. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? It comes to a point where you got to take accountability. I firmly believe in this, man. You are the center of your own universe. You are the sun, and everything else gravitates towards you. You attract certain people because that's the energy you're putting out.
Exactly.
Yeah, that goes into like the breakdown of time. I'm God body, so we always have, we have a breakdown for the alphabet and a breakdown for the math, and time is true. I master everything around me. That's what time is to me. I master everything around me. So anything that goes on in my life, I got to take accountability for it, because I control my surroundings, my cipher. I control what goes on in my life. So anything that goes bad, I can't blame nobody but myself.
Tell them, Kane, you keep that cipher small like a Cheerio, right, doggy?
Exactly.
Right.
Smart man.
Exactly.
That's what I tell people, man. It doesn't matter to me. My emotions don't affect my life decisions. They don't. I can love you and not fuck with you.
Oh,
I can
indeed.
love you and not fuck with you. If a person is in your life and they're not being a positive asset, that means they're taking energy from you in some form or fashion.
True
Facts.
indeed. True indeed.
Right. But like I said, we so like I said, and the biggest thing is this is your mama. I'm just being honest. It's your mama, right? And your sisters and your aunties, right? Teaching you not to act, but to react, to think emotionally when men are supposed to be logical and focused.
That's right.
That's facts. That's facts. It took me a long time to realize how a lot of my mannerisms or my reactions to certain things, events, people were very feminine. We're very feminine, always lashing out and all that stuff. Even though I think I'm like that by nature, but still, like, that uncontrolled lashing out. You understand? That uncontrolled where, as a man, you look crazy, because you're literally putting yourself in the position that the woman is in when she's being hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of brothers out there, they think that's what you have to be like, or that's what you have to act like to instill fear in people and to kind of, I don't know, showcase your dominance. You understand me? You want to show that you a tough nigga by acting out. But we all know the toughest motherfucker is not the one that's going to act out, especially in public. And y'all know how niggas get in public.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, man. It's like real killers move in silence.
That's right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
killers move in
And you
silence.
know one thing, Mr. Williams, the problem with that, with that statement is just that it has just become a cool slogan, a cool quote to say, to make yourself look cool, to be like, oh yeah, this nigga, he knows some shit because he said real
Oh yeah,
niggas
yeah,
move in
yeah.
silence.
There's gonna be guys that use it like that because
Mm-hmm.
I was a knucklehead. Like coming up, I was a knuckle. I used to stay getting in drama fights. I was a dude that people called to get into fights. Like, hey, I know he's gonna be the dude. When you say something to him, he's ready. He's gonna be ready. But with time and age, and I got this. I learned this young because I always hung out with older cats.
Mhm.
They taught me that real young, and then I got knowledge of self around 14, so I started moving a little different, and it goes back to what Ricky just said. A real G moves in silence.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna be out there acting the fool. That knucklehead that's out there acting the fool is a dude that's always jammed up. He's
Yeah.
always an issue.
Yeah, it's facts,
The
man.
truth of the matter is, bro. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's right. Yeah, the truth of the matter is, bro, I keep trying to tell people, man, men move a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a fact of nature. Men move a certain way.
Yep.
Right. So I tell people all the time, a lot of dudes try to do a test, but don't got no number 2 pencil.
Mm.
It's crazy, man.
I would like to ask everybody a question. So, for example, people always like to use Beyonce. So, for this argument, we'll use Beyonce. The ugliest, fattest dude, 9 times out of 10, is attracted to Beyonce, right?
Well, there's a lot of dudes attracted to Beyonce.
Right.
When you say the ugliest, fattest
Ain't
dude,
nobody argue that.
yeah.
Ain't you crazy?
let me see where you go with this.
She all right. She ain't
Hey, you making
anyway.
perfect sense right now, sir. You making perfect sense.
Yeah.
Carry on,
Facts.
sir.
But very simply, that doesn't make Beyonce on that ugly, fat, dumb dude level, because the ugly dude attracted to him is more so what she accepts. You accept what's on your level, or either what subconsciously you feel is on your level. What's attracted to you is everything. What you accept is something different.
Yeah, man. Because going back into what we were talking about with men doing certain things. I was on motorcycle beside me, but I was on Gold Professor channel, and we were discussing certain topics about queendom and men how they move a certain way, and the topic came up when we were discussing about Art Nostal TV, guy channel. You know, pretty good brother. Talks
Shout
a
out
lot of good
Art.
topics. Yeah, and so we was on there. You know, he always give out the YouTube Scholar Awards to a lot of these younger guys that come on there to try to reinvent the wheel, or try to put something on that was already
Who
on.
does that, Sheed? Who does that?
Art Nostal. He give him a YouTube Scholar Award. You know, he literally, if you go to his channel, the one he just did Friday, he took this guy Brian Mc something and put his name on the scholar paper, and he told the guy to screenshot it, and every time you go to a channel you want to discuss something, you give this to him and let him know, I have no study, I'm not dedicated on reading anything, I just learned it straight off of YouTube.
YouTube.
And man, it's hilarious. But the crazy part is, man, the guy kept coming up with, I feel and I told him, I said, every time you say the word I feel,
Yeah.
all I can hear is I'm Every Woman song playing in the back of my head.
It's like saying "but" in the middle of a sentence when you're trying to make your point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, man. And we tried to talk to the guy, and the guy didn't have awareness of himself till he got about 22, 23, when he was saying he didn't even know the whole black culture experience. And we're talking to him like, dude, you're trying to reinvent the wheel. You're trying to tell us your opinions and your feelings about this topic. And you didn't really find out about your own people until you got 23. And the way he was talking, it was like he was so young. And so I kept thinking under the impression, I'm like, okay, so this guy must be like 20, 25 or something. The guy was 39 years old.
That's the problem I'm seeing in the space. That's the problem I'm seeing in certain spaces, though.
Hey,
That's the problem I'm seeing in the certain spaces. Dudes of certain ages, and they're now learning certain things that they should have learned a long time ago. It's like, where were you? This is the problem that the internet. This is the problem that internet created.
hey,
The internet created a space where
funny or not, it's his life.
Yeah, that's a testimony actually to what we're lacking out here, man. That brother was 39 years old just now. He's functioning in his feelings, which are adjustable things. It's not, oh man, it's such a disappointment that he didn't have no structural model to follow when it comes to using the proper discernment when it comes to his feelings and logic,
Yeah.
And the bad is he had a father.
Oh,
The father
really?
grew up.
See, but that's another thing, Sheet. I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing. A lot of people grew up in a household where they had a mother and a father, but the father just wasn't on his purpose. The father didn't have knowledge of himself. There's a lot of fathers that I see that they let the women control them, where they're in the house and he's being controlled by the woman. This is where we get that happy wife, happy life shit. You hear a lot of men saying that shit.
Hell no.
Happy spouse, happy house, motherfucker. What you
know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of men saying that shit. You ever hear the women say that shit? You hear a lot of men say that shit.
Oh man, no, that's bullshit, dog.
Especially when I was coming out, I heard that shit a lot. I used to laugh at them dudes like, what? And I'm a youngster. I used to be laughing at them like, yo, what is you serious? What do you mean? Happy wife, happy life.
I hate that shit, man.
I was birthed differently because I was always been a rebel from a youth. Always was hands-on when it came to learning things. Like as of like right now, I use the internet. I don't use the internet for social media. I heard y'all talking about that earlier. I was on social media for a hot second, and I seen that it took away that what's the word I'm looking for? But it took away that, like when you don't see somebody in a while, and when you link up, they could break down, they could tell you about what was going on in your life, and they could tell you what's going on. With social media, is like I can see everything that's going on. I'll go on your page, I can see everything. So now when we meet up, it's like we have nothing to talk about. I see it online. I know what's going on in your life. So you lost that social that social phase that happened, like we not seen each other, and then we link back up. Oh, what's been going on with you, bro?
That mystery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That conversation has to happen. Yeah.
So it killed all that. That's what I'm saying. The internet has its ups and it has a lot of downs. And it's sorry to say for us as black people here, we use it wrong.
I agree.
Yeah.
We use this platform that we have wrong.
I totally agree.
There should be much more building going on. But it's
It
like
really should.
it's like dudes bring the hood. And when I say the hood, that's just a short term for neighborhood. It's just a short term for neighborhood. That's all we did as black people. We made neighborhood become the hood. But we just turned this shit into the hood. Where there's a lot of hood activity that goes on in this shit instead of real building that we should be doing. And that's what I be trying to do on my page, on my channel. She do it. Smooth, I be seeing Smooth do some building. Ricky, I'm just me and you. Ebo, you know you my bro.
Is that Evo Sosa?
Yeah,
that's me, man.
Yes.
What up, man?
What happened, brother? Yeah, I finally got a little time, man. I'm actually getting ready to get on off because I gotta, I do the graveyard thing. But yeah, man, I gotta start getting out here more and just making more discipline to make myself known,
Ebo, I gotta do a stream and me and you gotta chop it up where we do some serious build. That's what brothers need to be doing, some more serious building.
Yes,
all this talking, the woman talking, all that. I get it. We've been doing that for years. It's time to move on, and the brothers need to build and get knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is key.
Exactly.
That is the foundation. That is the foundation. Knowledge comes first.
You know, me and you talk about this space all the time, and we always talk about it. When it comes to these guys, man, when it comes to this space, man, a lot of guys, man, they want to come here for the jokes, the fun. I understand, but like I always tell the guys, I'm here. When I first came on, I'm looking for the knowledge. Like I said, it was a female, and a lot of guys I've been talking to, they always tell me, females put me into the manosphere. And it was Erica Williams. She always talked about BGS, how he talks about his money, talks about everything. And I'm looking at it like, when it goes down, like, what's up, man? What are we doing here? All this arguing and, bumping heads and want to, come offline to fight each other. I'm like, come on, dude. Let's make this money. I like Mace. Mace right now got the little channel where he's talking about, doing certain things. Yeah, Mace talking about doing certain things, on there, discussing stocks and making money. I want to hear about that on these dudes' channel. You got Gold Professor.
Yes.
Gold Professor, man, I'm on Gold Professor channel every morning. This guy
I just subbed to Gold Professor. I just subbed to him now.
Dude.
Yeah, peace to the God.
Yeah.
He talks about traveling every what is it? Tuesday, he talking about the travel. On what was it? Thursday, he's talking about the health. Friday, he's pushing the gumbo. And most definitely on Wednesday, he's talking about reading, man, getting these guys involved, reading something, getting your mind expanded, if even at the point of travel, get outside of your city. That's why I always tell guys, they always complain about the women. I'm like, dude, how you always say that there's no good women? Like I say, you sound like a female. There's a lot of women running around talking about there's no good men. But these women not even coming out of their area. They doing the same thing every day.
Ain't good. The ones you choosing, nigga, you choosing?
Yeah.
You choosing? Man. I just up to the Gold Professor, so.
Yeah, I tell brothers that all the time too. Like, you having problems with the women that you're dealing with, leave your area.
Man,
get out the hood, go somewhere else.
I don't have
some other terrain.
But fellas, honestly, man, being in the manosphere for a little over a year, let's be honest, fellas. Majority of these niggas don't want none of this shit that y'all have to offer. And I say this respectfully. And what I mean by that is the building, the information, stocks, crypto, this, that, and the third, all this value in this space. And 90% of these niggas, they don't want to hear that. They will tell y'all, that's what they want. They will tell you, oh yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, I agree with you and all of that shit. But then watch them go to the next stream and literally act the complete opposite of what you were just giving them game on.
Exactly.
You understand?
You're right.
Because of the conditioning.
It's easy to talk. It's easy to talk.
These niggas is here to negotiate. That's all they want to do. They're just here to freaking negotiate, man. That's what they want to do. They want to negotiate their submission to the woman. Oh, go ahead, Ken. My bad.
But I'm sure all the brothers that's on this panel right now, I'm sure your circle is real small. When it comes to that you deal with in your real life, your circle is real small. And that goes to show you how things are in reality.
In reality, thank you, Ken.
Find a real person, a real solid person to deal with.
Thank you, Ken. Hey, Ken, listen, man. Nowadays, I'm more attracted to listening in on panels or going on panels where the maximum of people there will be like 50 people, 100 max.
Yeah,
but if it's even less than that, I feel more comfortable being there.
Yeah,
like real talk.
You find yourself when you see a channel where it's huge like that, there's a lot of fuckery that goes on.
It's too much fuckery, man. Niggas is there trying to negotiate. They just here for the fucking entertainment, dog.
When people is trying to give you real knowledge, it's gonna be the channels are gonna be small because people it's like something Charlamagne be saying. When I be watching the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne be saying that the lie is better than the truth right now in this era that we living in right now. People rather live their life by the lie.
The lie is more entertaining.
It's more entertaining than hearing the truth.
And
nobody wants to stand by the truth.
It's more comfortable.
Right.
Yeah. And real talk, this goes back to what y'all was talking about how men, tend to act like women and all of that shit, right? You come to realize that the reason why the lie is a lot more, because women are really the ones that want to be lied to. You understand me? Even if they know you're talking a whole bunch of bullshit, they will still give into it because they're like how it makes them feel. And it's the same thing with these niggas out here. You know what I'm saying? They think the lie is more entertaining, even though they know better. Because a lot of niggas on here know better. They all know better.
We all know better. That's the thing. We all know.
They will purposely turn a blind eye just for the sake of being entertained or to be in the presence of bitches on the panel.
That's something
shit like that.
We learn at a young age, right from wrong. It's like left and right. You learn that real early. And this is why what I study, the 5% Nation, this is why they call themselves the 5%ers. Because there's only going to be a few that really want to live their life by the truth.
Mm-hmm. But then you think about it, the world is controlled by a few anyway. So,
but right there, Kane, people have now blurred what the truth really is because you hear people saying statements like, "Oh, well, you have your truth and I have my truth."
I have my truth.
Well, let's talk about that.
That's a woman narrative.
There's only one truth. There's only one truth, and it is what is consistent with fact and reality. Period.
That's a female narrative that
I hate that shit, bro.
Men don't, and that's another thing I'll keep saying, that men need to step up, and we need to make America great again. Bring shaming back. We need to start shaming again.
I just said that. Yo, sir, I just said that. I just said that on the stream the other day. I was like, shaming was necessary. When you're doing something shitty, you got shamed for it. Now when you seeing that you can't body shame, you can't this shame, you can't this shaming tactic. No, shaming was necessary. That's why it was a useful tool back then. If you back then when shit was a little bit more decent than what it is now, because shit always been a little fucked up in America because we just know what it is. We just know what it is, the history of America. But shaming was a necessary tool. If you was doing some dumb shit, you got shamed for it.
Yeah.
And that would make
that's not going to work no more.
That's not going to work no more. They were shamed like a badge now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. Like,
because they get congratulated for it.
They be
They
like,
get
"Who the
congratulated
whole
for
walk?"
being
You know what I'm saying? The
stupid,
next morning,
being a
whole walk.
hoe, being whatever, being deceitful.
One at a time. One at a time. I can't hear y'all. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's you because they only reason why you're able to wear shameful stuff as a badge is because everybody agrees with the foolishness. If you
Mm.
bring the real shame back and say, "Well, you ain't took a bath in 3 days," that's shameful. You stink and you're shameful. You should be ashamed. No, I'm smelling my essence. The essence of funk. That's not just essence. That's the essence of funk. You stink.
It's a funk.
It's like
Sir,
when
I have a question for sir. But when you finish,
But let Ricky follow because I think Ricky was trying to say something after.
Oh yeah,
Sir.
sure.
But
Look,
it's like when, like, it's one thing I always do. And if you go around, as they call it, these YouTube streets, quote unquote, you'll see me all the time lifting up black women. Lifting up black women. I lift up black women. But the thing is, when I lift up black women, if my hand slips under her arm and she musty, I'ma tell her. And that's the difference between me and these other cats out here.
Yeah.
And sir, what you tapping in, see, this is the thing about shame. People have now blurred shame and guilt together. Those are two different things, man. You know, shame,
True indeed, Ebo.
yeah, shame is just it's like a reaction of the evaluation of yourself when you're doing something wrong, you know, and guilt, it comes from it comes from the negative evaluation of one's behavior, you know. So you gotta learn how to discern it. And when people, I think all this comes from this whole, I remember the spotlight got shined on bullying a few years ago. It was like a lot of this, stop bullying, a lot of that shit going on in the media, a heavy campaign against bullying. And I started to see that's when this manipulation of shaming tactics, anti-shaming and negative shaming, I started to see a big spotlight pushed on that, which ultimately enhances the lack of accountability, enhances the lack of honor. You know,
Exactly.
people need to really understand that accountability is not something that you turn on and turn off. It's something you need to rest in. And when you learn to
Yes.
rest in it and literally wake up, I guess let me clarify myself even more because I'm being kind of broad and ambiguous. When you rest in accountability, it looks like this. When you wake up in the morning and you go out here in this world and somebody cuts you off, you resting in accountability, your reaction will not be to stick your middle finger out the window. Fuck you. You know, you won't do all that. You'd be like, damn, you know, this cat here is dangerous. Let me slow up and put myself in a bubble to where I'm away from all this. You know, you learn you're like you said, your circumference, your circle is small. And when you do that, you literally fortify your existence when you minimize your circle to be so small. And people are just not they don't understand that their circumference of awareness is off. They don't get it, man. Shame, there's nothing wrong with shame. It needs to be something that's used as a healthy tool, because without shame, well, how are you going to have morals? Where's your integrity?
Exactly.
We gotta have these things in the society in order to have some balance.
Exactly. This is why things done went haywire, because we took away that tool. That's a tool that has to be there. If you with your homeboy and he's doing some dumb shit, you're supposed to shame him. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, come on. You're supposed to tug on his collar. Yo, what are you doing? Come on now.
Yeah.
Tell him about himself.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to feel ashamed, like, oh damn, this is my bro. He really got my back. He really he put me on some game. He's giving me some knowledge, and he's gonna change what he's doing if he's a solid dude.
And if not, you know how to handle him accordingly.
Exactly.
Right. But let's get back to that truth shit. I can't stand that shit.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't. It ain't no your truths and my truths. It's the motherfucking truth.
Facts.
Plain and simple. Like I tell people all the time, if you don't have a basis of truth, there's nowhere that you can begin your discernment.
Exactly.
There's nowhere where you can come to a common goal or understanding if the truth is hidden from you. That bullshit. That what people don't understand. Ain't no gray areas in life, doggy.
That's a fact.
Gray areas is what a lies play.
Gray areas were created by human beings, so they have an excuse to do some fuck shit.
Exactly, Smooth. Exactly.
Yo, Rick, you gotta say that again. You said gray areas is where the lies play.
Yeah. Come on, man. Y'all cooking up here
They
right now,
they
man.
were created by human beings, yo, so they could do some fuck shit and not be held accountable for it.
No, it's not. It's not your truth. It's not your truth. That's fucking fuck your feelings.
Yep.
Your feelings are yours. Well, I can't knock you for them. They're yours.
Yeah, that quote is my truth. That's some emotional shit right there.
I hate
When you
that
say
bullshit.
That's some emotional shit when you say that.
This is my truth.
Understand that shit, man. Once you hear that shit, you know it's some bullshit running behind it. You ain't gotta listen to the rest of it.
Because you know they on some bullshit when they say it. When they say that, they know that they lying to themselves.
Get your ass out of here, bro.
This is my truth. My truth is a lie. I'm gonna lie to you and tell you this is my truth.
But y'all know what the
fuck out of here, man.
The problem with that phrase, "This is my truth," and the thing is, back in the day, like when somebody says that, I could actually understand and empathize with them and all that. But the problem with all these phrases now, "This is my truth" and "This your truth," is too many fuck niggas using these phrases and bastardizing them. So when you hear it, it's an immediate trigger. You understand me? Once you hear somebody say, "Oh, this is my truth," be like, "All right, you on some bullshit." You understand me? Because the thing is that at the end of the day, all of us live different lives, right? So whatever may be, you see, I can't even say it without thinking to myself, "Oh, you about to sound like a fuck nigga right now." You understand me? Like seriously, it's like we all had different lives and stuff, different realities and shit. I mean, reality is the same. You understand me? But the thing is, when it comes to things such as truth and all of that stuff, some things may be true to you that won't be true to me. For example, I don't know. Kane, just for example, right? Kane, you see, to me, you a solid brother 100, right? But let some of your ops from the 90s or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they were with the Decepticons or whatever. You understand me? Let one of them niggas come up to me and be like, "That nigga came and fuck that nigga." He still has whatever hate he has for you from back in the day, right? So in his eyes, you probably will never be a 100 nigga. But I'll be like, "Nah, nigga, I vouch for this nigga." You know what I'm saying? Cut my wrist and let me bleed out for this nigga. This nigga is 100% solid. That's my truth, because that's what I know. You understand me? I know that to be true, but their truth is different. You understand me? But you see, this type of shit that I'm saying right now, you don't really find that shit today. It's too many fuck niggas saying, "Oh yeah, this is my truth."
That's why it's a sticky.
You know what I'm saying? I can lick a hole and suck a pole. That's my truth and all that weird ass shit.
I can understand it to a point when somebody says that, because their truth might be how they live. You might just live a fucked up life where you just a fucked up person. So your truth is your truth. Like, yo, I'll live a fucked up life, but I'll tell you that I'm the best person out there. So I understand. That's why I say it's like a double-edged sword when you hear that quote. This is my truth. Because some people really believe that shit. The shit that they be saying, even though you can look at them and know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But they really believe that shit.
Yeah. A lot of motherfuckers on some bullshit. They'll tell you whatever.
People say that statement, man, when at least when I've heard it, it seems like that statement, "You have your truth and I have my truth," is said when there's an argument between the two of you, or a disagreement or a debate or whatever the case may be, and your facts and your evidence and your state of explanation is more valid than theirs, and they don't want to hold themselves accountable and glean from what you're saying, so they want to be stubborn and stand their ground rather than saying, "All right, yeah, man, you know what? I'm enlightened by that. You're right.
Exactly,
I learned
Ebo. Exactly, Ebo. That's exactly what goes down. Because at some point within that argument, they're gonna look at you like, "Oh damn, he's hit me with some facts." But they, like you said, they so stubborn. They're gonna they're gonna go down with the Titanic. They're gonna go down with the Titanic with they lie and try to keep it going.
Yeah.
Like, this is my truth. I'm just gonna go down. I don't care what nobody say. This is my truth. I just want to be on some bullshit.
Man, and that's the shame of it all, because personally I feel as men we should always constantly be looking for and searching for wisdom everywhere, and sometimes your wisdom is going to be presented to you in a form that is uncomfortable. That is
Yeah.
look, that's a part of that's growing pains.
That's when you grow. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's when you grow. Nothing happens on the other side. Nothing happens. Everything you need is on the other side of uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Change brings discomfort. In order for anything to change, it has to go through a period of discomfort.
Exactly. You know how many times I had to check myself in life?
Comfy.
Been plenty of times I had to check myself in life, like, yo, damn, that was some bullshit. That was some bullshit, but I saw the light on the other side. Like, I played the streets. Like I always be saying when I jump on these panels, like, I played the streets. I'm a street dude. I'm a dude that came from the streets.
I'm a hood dude.
I grew up in the hood and I did everything that you could think of in the streets. I've done it. But once I got knowledge of self, it just changed. I still did hood shit. Don't get me wrong. I still did hood shit, but I did it on a smarter level. I ain't try to mess up anybody's life. I just did what I had to do for me to make it forward. And in the same token of me doing what I'm doing, I always try to bring up brothers behind me, cause I got a head on my shoulders now. So I wasn't one of them knucklehead street dudes that was just trying to mess up the community. No. I wasn't one of them type of dudes. But I did all that shit. So I know about that life and I know what the other side
Can't keep
look
it
like.
real. Can't keep it real. After you found knowledge of self, was you still slinging?
Yeah, it just made me a smarter street dude. It just made me a smarter street dude. It just made me a smarter street dude. Because you gotta remember, the name of the game is surviving. It's surviving. It's survival. So I was doing what I had to do to get out the hood. And I did what I had to do to get out the hood. But like I said, in the same token of me doing all that, I wasn't one of those dudes that was just in the hood, terrorizing the hood.
Man, and I can already tell what happened, King. You was, even though you was in that game, you was honorable in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't mess with women and children. I was one of them type of dudes. If you messed with women and children, you had a problem with me. You had a problem with me. The women and children was off the table. We ain't gonna mess with innocent people. Innocent people is innocent bystanders is innocent bystanders. If you in the game, you in the game. It is what it is.
Yep.
But I wasn't terrorizing the streets. I did all my stuff on the humble. I was that silent guy.
It's simple. It's so simple, man.
But Kane, you do admit that it was still some fuck shit that you were involved in, right?
Nah, see what I'm saying. I'm gonna go into my shit a little something. See me? I was the dude that never tried to mess around with no hard type stuff when it come to that part of the game. Dealing with nah, I was a dude that dealt with Bud. I messed with Bud, but I was good at dealing with Bud because everybody messed with Bud. Everybody mess with Bud, so it's not like it's just something I dealt with. I'm not gonna do nothing that I won't mess with. I wasn't trying to put nothing out there that I wouldn't mess with. I wasn't trying to destroy no lives with the hard rock and all that stuff. Nah, cause I saw what it did to people. So I never tried to mess with none of that. If it came to fighting, I was a fighter. That was something I enjoyed. Hey, you want to fight? I enjoyed that. If you want to fight, I enjoyed that type of thing. I had plenty fights in my life. I'm gonna do that shit. I probably got a better record than Mayweather. I was out there. I was out there, and it's because I learned this as a youngster, but I did it differently. I treated it like a business. The same rules that apply to a business, to a legitimate business, I did it in the streets. But I didn't hurt none of my peoples. I always try to uplift my neighborhood.
But you still admit that despite you getting knowledge of self, you still engaged in some fuck shit.
Yeah, of course.
It was. I'm just trying to.
No, y'all understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but it's survival. The key to the game is survival. You're trying to get out of your situation. My whole goal was to get out of my situation. And then I had my son, my first son, when I was 18. So my key thing for that was to get out of the hood. Like, I didn't want him to grow up in the hood like I did, and get introduced to the same things that I was introduced to. So I did what I had to do, and I bought my first house at 21, and I moved him out the hood. And he's nothing like me. When you look at my oldest, he's in the military right now. He just left Monday. He just joined the military.
Oh, he left already?
He just left Monday.
Whoa,
Hey,
that's
man,
what's
congrats,
up, man.
congrats, man.
yo.
You know what I'm saying? He just went and did his military thing. I got the little younger one there. He's a little gamer. All he do is mess around on the games, but he's making money doing it. Like, he's intelligent and he's making money doing the Twitch thing and all that. He's showing me how to edit videos. So I'm like, yo, you teaching me something and you my son. That's how it goes. Knowledge is infinite. Every day you learn something new.
That's right.
The best thing is if you could get him a gig where he could earn some bread in editing somebody's video.
Yeah, he's about to get on that because he has little friends that they be going back and forth and he be teaching them stuff.
Okay.
Like I said, he's teaching me because I don't really know about editing. Like, I know about computers because I always had computers in my life. I just built him a computer. I was proud as hell when I did that shit. I was like, damn, I ain't never done no computer before. If y'all need a computer built, hit me up. I can build a computer for y'all now. So it was like,
Yeah.
that's the joy I get out of it right now. Like, my whole goal was to get out of the hood because I grew up in the hood. Like, we didn't really have no bread like that. And my cousins, they came out here and they was just ruthless and they taught me the street life. And I did the street shit, but I was always a decent street dude. That's the
But
thing.
what is a decent street dude? Would that be equivalent to a decent
If I came to your house, you would never know that I was a street dude. You would think of me as being like a dude that's going to school every day, doing what I gotta do. Like, when you see me in the streets, you would never think that I was a street dude. That's what I'm saying. I had my nerdy side, but then I had the streets in me. Like, I was out there doing my thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, King.
American Gangster.
And
that movie American Gangster, that's how I was. I was like Frank Lucas. I was one of those type of characters.
You see, King. This is not to come at you. The reason why is that I'm just trying to get that
now,
part.
I'm not saying you coming at me. I'm not saying you coming at me. Nah, Smooth. You know you want that.
No, I'm just saying in general.
I'm just trying to break it down. Like, I wasn't one of those dudes that was just out there terrorizing the hood. Like, I'm gonna be the hoodest nigga. Like, my thing was like, you gotta.
You say you were like Frank Lucas, but what did Frank Lucas do? No matter how the outside demeanor was, and no matter how quiet he was, he was doing some fuck shit, right?
He was doing fuck shit in the hood, but he also try to do something for his family. Like, he had a goal.
You see that butt? There's that butt that Ricky was talking about.
He had a goal. He wasn't just out there trying to be no monster.
However,
he had a goal.
He wasn't.
I had a goal. Like, I'm doing what I'm gotta do to get out of the hood.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, and that's in your past now, and that's cool. The reason why I'm asking these questions is that for somebody listening, you understand me? You know, I hear how you're saying, you know, you did this, you treated it as a business and all that. I hear a lot of positive connotations, but the reason why I keep asking this is because I'm always trying to get you to say that despite all of that I'm talking about.
Oh no, yeah.
The underlying fact is that this shit was some fuck shit that I did.
Yeah, it's a lot, but this is what goes on in the hood. But this is what
I know it's what goes on. Yeah, fuck shit goes on in the hood. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this way, especially when I was coming up. I was born in the 70s. I went through all that 80s shit. I seen all that 80s nonsense happen. So
Ken, would you say that everybody that grew up in your neighborhood took the same path?
A lot of them. I'd say is a higher margin of those that went that path than the margin of brothers that went the other path. Cause I was one of them type of dudes like if you was a school dude, if I saw that you was a dude that was into school and you was doing good in school, you couldn't be in the streets. Like, nah, bro, this ain't for you.
So you didn't do good in school?
Nah, see me, I was one of them type of dudes like I didn't have to go to school, but when I go to school, I'm passing all classes. I was
Or
one
with C's and D's or with A's?
I was like a B. I was like a B, C type dude. I was like a B, C's, depending on the class. If I ain't like the teacher, I'm gonna get a C. If I don't like the teacher, I know the work, but I just don't like the teacher, so I'm not really putting my all into it. But if I liked you as a teacher, I'm gonna get a B in your class, maybe an A if I'm really. Because I was on the basketball team. I was on the basketball team when I was in junior high school. When I was in high school, I was on the basketball team, JV, varsity. So I had to have good grades to do these things. But in the same token, the streets was out there. My family ain't really have money like that. My mother, she did what she had to do. Her and my father went through their situation. They separated, so he wasn't around. My father was no street dude. I learned this from family members and dudes that I hung out with. And most of the dudes I hung out with was older than me.
Did your father grow up with a father?
Yeah, he grew up with his father. That's what I'm saying. Me and my father is night and day. Like my mom's passed away when I was 13. And I moved in with my father. And because I was so hard up in the streets, my father gave me that, like, yo, it's either you're going to be doing that or you're going to stay here. And me and him got into a scuffle as a young dude. And he told me, like, you can't stay here. And I was like, I'm out. I was in the streets making money. As a
But
youngster.
would you say that you actually had the opportunity to choose the other path, as you said?
Yeah, I had the opportunity, but you gotta remember.
But you chose not to take it.
You gotta remember, at 10 years old, I got cousins and older dudes throwing me money. When I mean, not no for
I
for
remember that. I remember you telling me that.
10-year-old dudes throwing $100, $200 at you at 10 years old. It's like, yo, what? I'm balling to all my friends. All my friends around me is like, yo.
So what about when you found your knowledge of self at 14?
When I found knowledge of self, it started making me realize how life really is. How the control that I have over what I do in my life. That's what knowledge of self gave me. It showed me that I have full control of what goes on in my life.
So why did you decide to continue to
The money was good.
And the environment.
The bread was good and the environment is what it was. Like if you wasn't a dude out there getting no money, it wasn't nothing happening for you.
Dude,
like you just be going through the struggle. And I wasn't looking to go through no struggle.
It's crazy that you talk about that. Like, you know, I always tell people out of my brothers, man, I'm the only one that didn't go to jail. You know, all my brothers done been to jail. 2 of them done did lengthy times. I'm talking about 4 years. I got a brother right now doing 30. You know what I'm saying? They said 20, but
I was good at it. And I was good at it. I was good at what I was doing. I was good at it. Like I said, I wasn't one of those dudes that's out there just being reckless. So I was good at what I was doing. I never been locked up for that shit.
Yeah, and see, that was the point. You know, I did my dirt. I wasn't no big dude. I didn't do all that wild stuff. You know, I did a little nickel and diamond here and there. But my brothers, they massive. You know, and it was just, you know, I seen the bigger picture. You know, I don't look at myself as, you know, being knowledge of self, that 1%er, but I gained an understanding of what did I want more out of life. And, you know, my purpose. That's what I was kind of feeling at a young age. You know, I was one of the dudes who's like, man, I'm gonna get me a family because of my family structure was broken down when I was younger. You know,
And I
just like you
did
were saying, Kane.
completely, yeah, and I did completely different from my father because my mother and my father went through their struggles, and my father walked away. He couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with it, and he walked away. I know what they beefs was. Shit. Once I turned 30, I found out I had two brothers. I just met them at 30. So that mean that he probably got caught up back in the day. He probably got caught up, and my mom's probably found out like, yo, damn, nigga, you had babies on me. Because he ain't tell me about them until I was 30, when I finally found out I got two older brothers. So that's where their drama came into play. But I was good at what I did in the streets. I'm not trying to big it up or nothing like that, but I was good at that shit. And I made a lot of money off of it. And I was able to raise my fam. I had my fam young and I was able to raise them to where I was there. To this day, I was been in my son's life. He's 23 years old. All 23 years, he could tell you his father was right there. My youngest, same thing. They never seen a day when I wasn't there. Smooth, where you at? Come back. Shit, holla at me, man.
Yeah, he
Sir,
dropped off,
you
but
up
he
in there
probably come
too.
back up.
Sir,
But
you up
yeah,
in there
man,
too. Add on. I don't
you
want to
know,
be telling my life
it's
story. This is supposed to be
it's
for my channel. I'm over here giving my life story. I'm over here giving my life story on Sheed shit. Like, yo.
hey man, you cooking, but you know, like I said, the point of it is, man, dealing with certain things in your life, man, everybody has, you know, a path that they walk. You know, I chose a different path. You know, I could have been in a predicament as certain people I know. You know, I wasn't saying that I wasn't no dude that was out there wilding, but I did my dirt. But you know, I chose the path, you know, of different ground. But you know, back to you were saying, Kane, it's the environment, man. When
Yeah.
all you see is a certain way to move, even though you know that that's the wrong thing to do, you still move that way because you know, like they say, you know, that knowledge of self, man, and you know, you get an understanding. You won't go, professor, but you know, the thing is, man, the environment puts you in that mind frame. You know, it was one
Yeah.
time I was about to shoot a dude, and I didn't want to shoot this guy. But the whole
Cold
point
P.
when it came down to it, you know, it was the environment, man. Like I didn't have a choice. Like, man, I'm gonna have to go ahead and you know do something that I don't want to do on account of you know this certain level of respect and everything else. You know, it. You know, people can say peer pressure, but when it comes down to it, man, your mindset at the time of certain things that you're dealing with and how you moving, you keep that. You know, even when like now that I'm living and I'm older, it's certain things that I look at someone and I'm like, man, I can do this to him. So I can do this, but I have to, you know what I'm saying, go into that deeper mind, you know, and think about my kids, think about certain things that I want to, that I haven't accomplished and did in life. And it calms my
Mm-hmm.
mind down, you know, because
Exactly.
we all walk around with that demon in us, man, ready to come out. But we
Yeah.
got to know how to suppress them, man. We got to know
Yeah.
how to put
Because,
that
like I
dude in his
said,
place.
I was a dude that loved to fight when I was a youngster. And you got to remember, I'm a light skinned dude. I'm a light skinned dude, and I grew up in the 80s. If you talk about the 80s, New York City, yeah, I'm sure a lot of y'all saw a lot of them documentaries of the 80s in New York City. It was a it was a rough time. In order for you to come outside and play, you had to be about throwing some fists. And this is when dudes actually threw fists. It wasn't all about guns, like in this era where it's all about guns. Back then, you had to know how to knuckle up if you wanted to go outside. And I was a dude that, from young, I'd leave my house 8 in the morning. See, my mom's had MS. She had multiple sclerosis. So she was stuck to a wheelchair. It was my mother and two sisters. My sisters couldn't boss me. I'm the dude in that. I'm the dude in the crib. My mother spoiled me. She used to give me whatever I wanted. Whatever I wanted, my mother used to give me. She used to work 2 jobs. That's why I learned how to work hard from seeing it from her. I wasn't around my pops that long, so I didn't really get too much from him. They went through their dramas. They separated. She took us. We was with my mom's, but I saw my mom's was Caribbean, hard worker. She used to go out there and work 2 jobs to do what she got to do for us. And she used to spoil me. This is the flip side. She used to spoil me and shit on my sisters. My sisters used to always say that, yo, you adopted. Why she always treating you like that? Like, yo, my mom used to spoil me. Whatever I wanted, I always had. And then the Atari, ColecoVision, all that fly video game shit. I had all that shit. But my mom's got sick. When she got sick, my cousins moved here from overseas. And when they moved over here, they linked up with the street niggas immediately. And I was the young dude with them. And they used to be like, yo, come in, because they saw something in me. They saw something in me. They saw something in me like, yo, he's not an average young dude. I wasn't trying to hang out with nobody my age. Anybody my age, get out of here. I can't hang out with you. I'm hanging out with the older cats. So they was putting me up on game. They was in the streets and they was putting me up on game. They might make me hold on to a pistol or something for them and throw me $100. Like, oh, police coming here, hold that. And throw me $100. I remember as a young kid, putting money in my mom's drawer. Like, hold that. She don't know where that money came from. That's for rent. This is the type of mindset I had as a young kid. Money was always a major thing to me, even back in the day. You know, I don't know. How old are you? I know we do. So you
38.
got you're 38. So yeah, I'm 40. I just turned 43. So you're not too far away from me. Remember back in the days they used to give us those little school books where you used to have the money in the back of that shit, and you could rip the money out. You used to have like coins. You used to have coins back in the school books. In the school books back in the day, they used to have coins in there. And they used to have money, and that's how they used to make you count money. So they let you learn about money.
Yeah. I remember the little paper money that you pop out, the little ones. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The little quarters you pop out the little holes and stuff, had the little dots connect them. You just pop them out.
So money was in my mind. As a kid, I always thought about money like they taught us back in the day. Back in the day, they taught us what money had its value. They let us know what money was used for. So me being a youngster like that, and they throwing money at me like that, like come on! I had all the Nintendo games, Atari games. I'm buying I'm getting that money, and I'm going to buy video games and shit like that. So I was always the younger dude that, where'd you getting all this money from? And it's because I was hanging out with the older dudes that put me on the game, and they taught me. So this is what I'm saying. The environment was different back then. Now it's completely different. That's not happening now. Them days is over. Them days is over. Certain dudes try to hang on to them days, but them days is over. I'm not teaching my kids that, but that's what was going on back then.
Yeah,
like,
so you think it's about the times is different, or you think that your attitude is just different?
Now the times is definitely different, and my attitude is different. Because at the same time, I don't hide anything from my kids. Like I tell them about all this type of stuff. Like I teach them about all this. I tell them my history. I tell my kids my history and my downfalls, so they know that. Like I said, my kids is completely different from them. My kids is cut from my cloth, but they don't do anything that I do. The kids nowadays, they don't even want to go outside. Like I gotta force my kids to go outside. Like damn near kick them out the house. Like get out of here. Like why are y'all still here? Me, you couldn't keep me in the house back then. I was in the streets all day. All day. And I see that in neighborhoods nowadays. When I go to certain neighborhoods, kids ain't outside no more. Back in the day, we was doing hopscotch. We had games like hopscotch. What was the other one? Scully. We had a game like Scully, Manhunt, Red Light, Green Light. I don't see none of these kids doing none of that right now. Nothing to be social. Yeah, I don't see none of these kids doing nothing to be social.
Hey man, I keep my boys outside, man. I do them like I bought them little electric dirt bikes because they got 4-wheelers, but I bought them electric dirt bikes, and I let them know, man, go out there and play with them electric dirt bikes. I end up, got them bikes, they got phones, and even with the video game, they just got a Nintendo Switch. You know, because my oldest son bought them and they got a PlayStation 3. Like I could have been upgraded, but once I stopped playing, I'm like, man, I'm not pushing them boys to do that. You know, most thing they do is be on their phone, man. I tell them, I'm like, man, get off the phone. You know, I have them set to a certain degree. I like, look, if you want the phone, you got to read a book.
Yeah,
Read two
it's like
books,
that's
get a
what you
phone.
gotta do to your kids now. It's like you want your phone, read a book. Like
Yeah,
back in the day, it was go outside. Parents wanted you to go outside. Like go outside. Why don't you just go outside? They don't even want to do that in this era. In this era, they don't go outside. When you go in the streets is empty. And I remember when that happened, I saw it. I've been around long enough. I bear witness to where the summers became people not being outside. Like they online. Like right now with this tube thing that we on right now, with us being on the tube. Every day I come on the tube. Excuse me. Every day I come on the tube. There's certain people I see in chat rooms. They're there every day. This is the new norm for people right now. Being online, this is why we come up with things with introverts and people not knowing how to conversate with each other. This is why it's easy to mess with people's head right now because everybody is online. This is the
yeah.
new norm for people right now.
And-
People don't know how to be social in real life.
yeah, man. And what's going on, Go Professor? What's going
Go,
on with you?
Professor. I've been talking. Go, Professor. I know you got something to add on. What's going on? Peace to the God. GP, where you at?
Yeah, man. He probably stepped off for a minute. He was just on. But yeah, man. You know,
Go ahead,
that's
sir. Go ahead, sir. You sound like you had some questions. You had some questions for the brothers. I don't know if I'm butchering your name, but I'm thinking
Yeah,
it's
it's
sir.
here. It's
Okay. What you got going on? How old are you, brother?
36.
Oh, you from my generation. You semi from my generation a little bit. You ain't too far from my generation. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was always with the old heads anyway. Like I always learn from older people. Um, that was really my thing.
So you got some OG game. Some
Yeah. Oh,
OGs was talking to you.
yeah. That was the thing. Honestly, what kept me out of, I can't say completely kept me out the streets, but kept me from really being in the streets in that way was because my whole family, that's the life of my whole family,
Yeah, see,
using
I know what
and
you're
dealing
talking about.
drugs. So
Yeah,
I wanted to be different.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. You
But
the type of
I
brother,
kind of did some of the
you the type
same
of
stuff.
brother I
Like,
was hollering at. You the type of brother I was hollering at, like, yo, this ain't really for you. Like, there was probably a phase in your life where you felt like you could have messed around with the streets, and you probably had an older cousin or something come to you like, nah, bro, this ain't for you, man. Go do something different. Like, you're gonna be the come up.
yeah, the only thing is like at this point, man, I'm just upset with myself because I really missed all that. Like I ended up throwing away on some Simpson stuff. If you understand the reference of that.
Good. You got it.
Yeah, I threw away, all my blessings and abilities on dealing with the wrong female, trying to turn a hoe to a housewife type thing.
Oh, bro, I know what you're
Like
talking about. I know a lot
not
of
so much
guys that
like
went
I
down
don't want
that
to be
road.
disrespectful. Like I ain't trying to down, anybody, but just facts are facts. Like I'm not going to act like I wasn't a hoe. Like I hoed around for self-esteem reasons, lack of self-esteem. So I would mess around because I didn't care nothing about myself, or I messed around to prove something to myself or to somebody else. Like you be like, oh well, you short, black, and fat. You can never get her. So I would get her just to prove, like, hey,
Prove to
you're
yourself,
wrong.
like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, bro. Like, I'm a light skinned dude. I went through a lot of dramas, man. I went through being a light skinned dude. I had chicks that was like, yo, you too light. I done heard it all.
Yeah.
No, I done, it ain't always a win. It ain't always a win, but I won a lot. I won a lot, but it wasn't always a win. It
Yeah,
was
you
definitely
get him.
times where I got shitted on, like, yo, damn. I wish I could have got that too, because I was really trying to get that.
You get him. It's more like a notch on the belt, man. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
I
guys do
realized
that.
like I ain't even need the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like it
just
wasn't even
because.
the belt. I ain't even want the belt. Like once I got the belt, I threw it in the trash. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
Exactly. Exactly, bro. Because I went through that. I went through a phase where it's like, this is why I understand what it is to be with a bad chick. 'Cause I've dealt with a lot of bad chicks. But it's at the same time, I had that mentality like, yo, once I knock you down 2 or 3 times, it's like you are a regular chick to me. It's like,
Hey,
because
hey,
I was getting so many chicks at the time.
hey, sorry to cut you off, man. You know, I'm about to go ahead and end the stream because Roger, he's about to start up his live,
Roger about to
and you know
fire
he's
up.
gonna pay. He's paying respects for Force Windu, man. You know the guy that passed, and
yeah,
Wait,
I want,
Swindle Pass?
yeah, man. Last year, December the 10th.
I remember that name. I seen that name of
He's
this.
always been in BGS.
Wait.
The the
Gee. When you
the
say
Shadow
last year,
Point,
you mean literally like December last year?
yeah, December the 10th. And we just
Oh
now finding
shit.
out. We just got the confirmation about it this year. But if you look at my avatar that I got up there, that was his screen name right there. The Shadow Point.
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing Force Window on the
Yeah,
panel. That's what I'm saying. When you saying that, I'm like, you saying last year, but I'm remembering that last year was just a 1 month
yeah,
ago.
pretty
So
much.
he
And that's
just
when it
passed
happened.
away. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, life is a crazy thing. See, that's what we trying to tell brothers. This is why you have to make a legacy. For brothers that we talk about, yo, I'm in it by myself and I'm gonna just do me. That's not the way to live. When your parents created you, they wasn't thinking like, yo, I'm just trying to do me by myself.
Yeah,
We are all created to keep it going. Legacy is what it's all about. Even if you're gonna be a fucked up nigga, they got dudes as I'm gonna have a legacy of fucked up people. There's a balance. That's how it goes. There's right and wrong. There's a balance. Some people are just born to be messed up in the game. Some people are born to take it to the next level. That's just the way life goes. We don't all walk the same path. But damn, Force Window, I definitely remember seeing his name on a couple of Roger streams, and I seen him on some other streams.
yeah. He was
Damn,
on BGS. He was on
yeah,
BGS a lot. He connected with Dr. T. Hassan Johnson.
yeah, he was
You
a solid
know,
brother.
yeah, he real solid, man. 2 kids, wife. You know, real good guy, man. You know, he always talked good about the space. You know, he would
Damn,
always, have his
was it like a COVID situation?
nah.
Something other than that. Oh
Yeah,
damn,
some
but
other than that.
damn. Yeah,
I
life
hit you
is
with
a
it off.
strange thing. Yeah, you hit me with it on offline, but life is a strange thing, man. You gotta live your life to the fullest every day. That's the key. The key is to live your life to the fullest every day. Do not take any day out of your life and don't respect it. You got to respect every day out of your life because you never know. You never know what'll happen. But yeah, I'm gonna go over there. You said Roger firing sub up right now.
Yeah, he firing up right now.
All right, I'm gonna go over there and check him out. I'm gonna go over
Yep,
there and support.
yep.
Everybody in the chat, peace and salute. She had me over here going into my life. That's my bro though, man. She's just my brother, man. She's my brother. I'm always gonna come over here and support him. But yeah, y'all head over to Roger. Y'all head over to Roger and we're gonna show some love for Force Windu, man. I remember that brother, man. Respect,
Yeah,
man.
man.
My condolences to his family.
Yeah, man. You know, that's why I say I want to go ahead and get over there. Chop it up with the fellas. and we kind of make things work, talk and everything. But any last words, man, before we end it? Like I said, go over to the Roger Report 3. The Roger Report 3.
I'm over there. I'm over there already. I'm over there. I done logged in.
Okay.
But yeah, salute to everybody in the chat. This is my bro Sheeby here. Support him. Go Professor. Peace to the God. Support him. And come check me out. I be
Yeah.
talking about a little thing. I be talking about thing every now and then. Kane the God. The God
And then,
Talk Show. Come
Art,
support.
support the Art and Style TV, man.
Yeah, and
Art,
New
Art's a
Style.
good brother.
Definitely. That's a good brother. Go support him.
Underrated. And then my boy, I just got on with Mark Nash. It's Mark MARQ. Mark Nash. As it's spelled,
Okay.
Nash.
And Ricky.
Man.
Yeah, we gotta shout
Ricky
Ricky out
Williams,
too.
man. Hey, man.
Yeah.
That's how I met I met Ricky Williams over there on his channel. I always seen him on the Underrated channel, man, because they be talking with the boxing real heavy. But yeah,
Okay.
man.
Okay, yeah, definitely support Ricky Williams too. And my bro Ebo Sosa. That's my bro right there. Support Ebo Sosa. Go Professor. Peace to the God. Sir, I see you. Support the brother, sir. You already know. We here, bro.
Hey, man. That's why I put it like that, man. We here. We represent for the guys, for the culture. We putting everything out there, man. And right now I'm finna go ahead and drop off. And catch y'all over there at the Roger Report 3. And we gone.
Peace.